Ooh.
Welcome to Auction Day Live. Hello, my name is Ryan Brecklin. This is Tom Selmon producing today. Vincenzo.
Who just recently transitioned.
Ooh.
That's a very falsetto. Ooh. Welcome to the show. We'll go over all of the things for the auction very soon, but the lots start to close in 11 minutes. It's 12:49 right now. 1 o'clock lots start to close, and some of the best bottles that we have will close immediately.
This is, this whole alphabetical thing. I mean,
It works good, except for this case.
yeah, you got to, well, there was something else last time that was right up front, too. Was it another AH
It was
Hirsch?
Hirsch.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Vinny, what are you cracking beers over there?
Now up for auction, Bud
Not
Light.
paid.
None.
Not paid promotion, but it might as well be.
All right, so let's dig right into what is definitely legendary bottles. This is A.H. Hirsch. A.H. Hirsch Reserve pot stilled sour mash, which is kind of a misnomer if you dig into the book on this.
I was going to say that's needs explaining, but sounds like it doesn't.
I'll dig into it in a little bit. So, straight bourbon whiskey, bottled by Hirsch Distillers. Very limited supply. Very hard to find in today's market. But I'll go over the history of it. This was initially distilled at the Michter's Distillery in Pennsylvania in 1974.
Michter's Distillery, the Pennsylvania one.
Yes, the old Michter's.
The original.
That distillery had a dozen different names.
Was is that the quote unquote pre-Revolutionary War distillery?
It was a pretty old distillery.
Yeah, I was like, that was
One of the oldest 19th century distilleries for sure.
George Washington was drinking from there.
He had his own distillery at
Did he?
Mount Vernon. Yes.
No kidding.
Yes, he did.
Like
And,
personal or commercial?
Personal. I don't know. I don't remember whether or not he sold whiskey, but I know that he made it from excess grain.
That'd be a hell of a dusty.
And one of the most famous, yeah, oh my God, can you imagine finding a bottle of George Washington's whiskey?
I can only imagine what color it'll be at this point, too.
I believe Dave Pickerel, one of the legendary master distillers who was Whistle Pig and I think Woodford and some of those, he helped rebuild George Washington's distillery. And it's in operation today. It's an operating distillery. Yeah, you can go visit it. So they started the bottle, the A.H. Hirsch, in different age statements around 1989. Some of the whiskey stayed in barrels and some of it got tanked. Big stainless steel
Vats,
tanks.
yep.
Got fatted. But there are 4 different releases. There's 15-year, 18-year, 19-year, and 20
Of that bottle and color type,
of
right?
this whiskey.
Yeah.
There's different bottles. This is a blue wax, and then we also have the gold foil. This is the one you're probably more likely to find anywhere today is the gold foil. We've had this in our auction before, and I think we have a total of 4 bottles today. They will be closing in just a few minutes, so as we talk about it, you should watch.
There's also that rye, too. Isn't there a rye that's later in the auction?
Isn't it a Hirsch rye? Yes, a Hirsch rye, but it's not from this batch of whiskey.
It's a, right, okay. It's not a Michter's product, original Michter's product.
Yep. So the most common, the 16-year, that's the gold foil. I think that one came out in 2003. What do you think the original retail price for this was?
$40.
Between $89, $45.
Yeah.
And, people report retail prices in the $100 range. But you have to remember back then, a $45 bottle of bourbon.
That was a hell of a bottle.
Or $100. Even in
Right.
2003, people, Pappy was sitting on the shelves.
Right.
Pappy 23 was sitting on the shelves at that price. So this was all distilled in a single batch. I think it took them a week in 1974. They put up 400 barrels.
400 barrels, 200 bottles a barrel, 8,000 bottles.
Yeah.
Ballpark?
So they report. I read through some. So the source on this, the major source on this is this book here. It's called "The Best Bourbon You'll Never Taste." It's by Chuck Cowdery, and he is he sort of eschews the term bourbon historian or whiskey historian, but really talked to a lot of sources. This is a fascinating book. It explains everything about it, how it was made, and this book is kind of the mystique and what drives the value of this bottle.
You think it's that book, or do you think it's because people know? I feel like all the people who've been doing this whole bourbon thing for 20 years, 25 years, they know about that bottle. The guys who've been around, people who jumped into the whole bourbon thing come COVID time, don't.
Well, they do now.
Well, yeah, they're figuring it out.
We're talking about it. There's reviews on it. You could, as I'm researching just to talk about these bottles. I found Reddit reviews that are 12 years old, 14 years old. And you figure someone was out there opening these and telling everybody how amazing it tastes.
Somebody's got to go on Reddit and make a consolidation of all the reviews and put all the 10 10s, 10 out of 10s, the best of Reddit reviews.
There might be. Reddit's so huge, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Mash bill on this is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malt, and they used a beam yeast. I think one of the beams was the master distiller on this batch.
Huh.
So bourbon lore is very interwoven. The beams were working for everybody. It's a huge family.
They're a contract.
All the different master distillers were friends. All of the distilleries were friends. They have a great history and tradition of helping each other. And, you know, making single runs of whiskey that ended up becoming legendary. Let's see. So that they actually bottled a couple of these in off brands too. So some of this whiskey, as it was getting tanked and coming out of the barrels,
You're talking about the Michter's juice.
yeah.
The
So
Hirsch.
the same whiskey that's in this bottle has a couple of like small sub bottlings called Colonel Randolph, Old Gromes,
I gotta Google those.
and Boone's Knoll. I don't think you're gonna find much. Colonel Randolph bourbon,
Came right up.
Old Gromes, GROMES.
I just want to look. I want to see what they look like, so I know what to look for.
Well, we're gonna find them in a Dusty collection, right? at
Oh,
this
Colonel.
point.
Did somebody resurrect Colonel Randolph?
Some of the names get reused, like all the famous names in whiskey get reused.
Well, it's just like that new bottle of Black Maple Hill we had.
Yep. So 5 minutes until these go off. So it reports in the Cowdery book, it reports over 4,000 cases, like something like 4,200 cases. I'm going to assume that that's 12 bottles in a case. I'm seeing 6-bottle cases and everything else. I think it was 12 bottles a case then.
The Colonel Randolph 16-year barrel proof bourbon was a twist off, plastic twist off.
And it's got that juice in it. It's got the Hirsch juice.
That's
in
crazy.
It.
It was a Japanese export bottled by Julian Van Winkle.
Everybody worked for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's computer's on, making noise. I do find it interesting that at this time, the Japanese market was hot, and they wanted the oldest American whiskey they could get, the oldest bourbons. So a lot of it went over there, and I don't think you'll ever see it again.
No, they probably drank it.
I doubt you could put your hands on a bottle of Colonel Randolph.
One went at auction for big bucks,
Okay, just
5 figures.
We know it's delicious, but we also
It's the exact same juice, right?
can't. Yeah,
They're going for rarity without. You're paying for that label.
right.
Yeah.
Like you could buy one of these for under $5,000 and then drink this, and it's the same stuff that's in the Colonel Randolph bottle.
Yeah.
Depending, different years probably. I think the 15-year stuff probably is what went to Japan.
Yeah, but that
from what I
plastic
remember.
bottle and cap might have given it the extra little funk that it needed. You know, the BPAs might have added to it or something.
So let's talk about prices and modern examples. I mean, whiskeys like this, I feel like I would buy this and bunker it. You know,
They're never making any more of it.
yeah, you got to drink it.
I did. We had, so that was a good estate. So we had a lady not too far from here. Husband was into it. And I think I told this story a couple auctions ago. I'll tell it again because it's a perfect example of why family could suck. Guy was a bourbon guy, had Pappy 20 all over the place, good estate. And I'm going through the cupboards. So the gentleman died. Family comes over after the funeral. And one of the cousins, who must have also been a bourbon guy, walks over and picks out a bottle and cracks it open. Well, what do you know? It happened to be a gold foil Hirsch.
He opened a gold foil Hirsch on the guy's funeral
Yes.
in front, like
Right. Let's
didn't
open one.
ask.
No, he said he was going to open one, but he picked the most expensive bottle in the house. And then I think he made like a Jack and Coke out of it too.
I love stories like that.
So luckily, you know, there was only, you know, he only drank about 30% of it.
Okay.
So we had a pour.
So when you picked up the bottles, they let you have some.
Yeah, I said, listen, I offered. I was like, hey, do you want to sell me a shot, kind of thing? Like,
Yeah.
Like, no, I will give you one. And it was mouthfeel, man. I have yet to have another whiskey that had that kind of velvety mouthfeel to it. And I don't know how it gets that way or what, but that was totally unique. Nothing I've ever had a taste like that.
It sounds a little dirty when you talk about mouthfeel.
I know, but The upfront flavor tastes great. Yeah, bourbon, but the on the way down, it's fantastic.
Is it the best bourbon I'll never taste?
Well, you got to buy a bottle.
Yeah, I suppose I could. Suppose I should step up for it. All right, looks like the auction's going to start closing in 1 minute. We're seeing these bottles in the high 2s, 3s, and 4s.
The gold foil is the quote unquote cheapest one at $2,600. The blue wax is $3,000 or more.
So, what's your opinion? Do you buy this and bunker it? Because we have a book, we have some staying power with something.
Mm-hmm.
We have proof from multiple sources that it's delicious, that it's probably amongst the best historic that you can find. Do you buy this, put it away for 10 years, 20 years? Is it going to be a $6,000 bottle or a $10,000 bottle?
Probably. See, the trick is what I always like to do from a tater investor standpoint, find something that's really good, known good, and try to get that today and then hold. So like Russell's 15.
I was just going to say Russell's Reserve 15.
That'll be $1,000 before you know it for a bottle.
I sacrificed my bottle that I paid $250 retail for so that
killed
everyone
that
could
bottle
try
on
it.
that show.
And, with that bottle, everybody got to try it and know how good it is.
And nobody said it wasn't.
And then I had to pay $400 for my next one, which I bunkered.
So I have two of them I paid $250 for each.
Yeah, well, I'll tell that story then. Because you and I had to go to New York on an estate pickup. We stop at a liquor store off the side of the highway, and we walk in the store.
Bramers. I remember it. Was it Bramers? Yeah. Shout out to them.
In the store, we walk straight in. Tom peels right, I peel left.
This is when Russell's 15 just came out, by the way.
I go over to the shelf because I see green chartreuse stocked up. Okay, which is very hard to come by now, and people are definitely paying over retail for it. And I go, haha, I got 3 bottles of green chartreuse, and you're holding Russell's Reserve 15 that you saw behind the counter. They were just putting it out.
It was Russell's 15, and they had like one of the new Maker's Marks, and I was like, which one should I buy?
So you scoped me on that one, and then drank my bottle. So when you open yours, or you're probably not now because you're going to wait.
Russell's 15?
Yeah.
That's under lock and key right now.
You know what? That bottle, that's the only year they'll make it.
So you were telling me that they do a 13 and they're going to do a 17.
The rumor is 17. I think I might have saw something about a label being produced. Not sure. Let's see. See if it exists. I don't know if it exists yet.
Or was it?
Might have been a meme that I saw.
Yeah, it could have been bullshit too. Who knows?
Yeah. But I would try Russell 17 in a flash. I would be.
What's the one that just came out? No, I'm thinking of the other ones, the Buckners or the. They're all starting to get.
Here we go. The Hirsch is closing right there. That one just
32.50. Oh, I think all 3 of them sold at 32.50.
That's good. That's good. You know what? Bunker those bottles, or drink them if you want to ball out.
See, that's the other thing too. Is like you're gonna keep bottles. You're gonna stash them, but you got to have days where you drink stuff crazy too.
I don't know. I was drinking Rip 10 last night. Had friends over.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't hold back. People want to drink the good stuff.
I don't hold back either. I mean, we have had estates already where guys stockpiled stuff and never opened it. And they died. And I think that's a shame. We run into that all the time with the estate business. They either don't open it because it's so rare, or they don't want to quote unquote spend the money on it. If I find out I'm dying, I'm drinking all the good stuff.
How about just drink it every day?
You have your standards, but I'm saying the crazy stuff, the A.H. Hirsches, the Black Maple Hills that are coming up shortly too.
So actually, I have some of the Black Maple Hill here. We could do a little information on that. This is one of those legendary bottles, like the label, the mystique behind it, the kind of whiskeys that went into this brand. This is an NDP, non-distilling producer. CVI brands, you can see as a label on the back, but iconic. You know what I mean? Even when I see a Black Maple Hill from a few years ago still in this bottle, and I go, what's that? Is that an Old Dusty?
Right.
It always sparks me a little bit in a liquor store when I see it. This one is limited edition Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. It is 18 years old.
I like the label on it for some reason. I don't know why.
CVI Brands is a California company. They do a lot of cognacs and things like that.
What was the story on that one too? Who distilled that? Actually distilled that? Was it Van Winkle?
So at first I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the Van Winkle bottles. There is bourbon, Stitzel Weller bourbon in Black Maple Hill. Some of the earliest releases were Julian Van Winkle bottled them. The third, the great grandson. And they also picked up a lot of pre-fire Heaven Hill to put in the bottles. Now, I did as much homework as I possibly could, aka Googling, and this 18-year rye is an unknown source, but rumored, I think, to be pre-fire Heaven Hill.
Yeah, well, it's the R66 batch. I've seen those at auction before. The other one we have is an R77, which I'm sure is fantastic, but I don't think that one has made light yet. I think that one's more rare or something along those lines.
It's also possible that what's in this bottle is Bernheim, Cream of Kentucky, which are also some legendary whiskeys. So they were bottling Black Maple Hill as a brand. We're bottling whiskeys from all different places, all different sources. And they started, they were taking the old Stitzel Weller stocks from Van Winkle. They were getting some of this Bernheim, some of this Heaven Hill. And they started to run out, maybe in 08, 09, somewhere in there, and then started their non-age statement stuff.
Yep.
And recently, you and I were in a store. I think we were in New York.
No, we were Jersey.
And we found the current
that
Black
had
Maple Hill.
just come out. I think we paid $90 at like Total Wine or something.
I don't remember if it was that much.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So this is produced for Black Maple Hill by Stein Distillery in Oregon. So this is Oregon juice.
So I like the label. So, but I opened it,
iconic.
and it's got a lot of fruit flavor to it. That's very good. I think $95 is a little overpriced for it.
Let's take another sip.
I think you're paying for that fancy label.
We haven't visited it in a while, and I don't. You know what? Since you and I bought this, I have not seen it in a store again.
Ooh.
So I have not seen this in a store. I've not seen this on a shelf. I haven't seen it at Total Wine.
Maybe we should save that other one we got.
Yeah, we have one on unopened bottle, right? Anyone
Somewhere.
else want some?
Benny?
Nope.
No.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's got a long show to do. That's why I'm making very small pours.
Yeah, I just dumped it in.
I'm
The Black
servicing
Maple Hill
and-
did just sell. Okay, we're on Blanton's land now.
Oh boy,
You got all the Blantons. We got all the Blantons.
we got 50 plus bottles of Blanton's probably in here.
I love it. I love this auction, Tom. Thanks for making this business with me.
Yeah, thanks
This
for.
is
thanks for
fun to. Cheers.
My liver hates you, but thanks for having me.
My one kidney hates me.
Okay, you're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Oh well, I recently found out I only have one kidney. Like for real, I was born with only one. So I don't even know. Here, have a cork.
Yeah, I don't want to spill it on all the
I'm still
computer.
flabbergasted, Vinny, that I only have one. I was born with only one. They basically got a chest CT.
It's a birth defect.
one in about 1,500 births.
Maybe one of your siblings got an extra one.
Oh, so you think they have a third? So the first thing I did, I got my test results came through on email, and I clicked into my chart, and I looked at it, and it had big bold letters, missing left kidney. Right? And
Asterisk.
my phone rings, and it's my GP, my doctor goes, and I go, one kidney? He goes, yeah, kind of wild, huh?
Don't worry about it.
I said, thanks. I work with my mother. She's at the front desk. I went down and I said, one kidney? You only gave me one kidney? What's going on? She was laughing because she's like, well, how would I know?
You still owe me a kidney.
Sorry.
How would anybody know?
Hey, you should tell your mother, since you went all these years with only one kidney, say, hey, I want one of yours now.
Well, no, the more important question is, do I have the pipes to hook it up?
They can't suture something in there. They
Where are
can't.
the pipes leading to?
What's in what is in
the
place?
breeze.
What is in place of my non?
It just drips into his torso.
Oh,
it doesn't really do anything.
That so I don't know. The pipes might be there. They might not. I don't even know.
It probably has nothing. It's just there's a little dotted line. Kidney should be here.
What do you think of the Black Maple Hill? I actually like it better now than when we first had it.
Yeah,
It's sweet.
It's sweet. It's got a lot of like fruit forward flavors to it.
Is it what is it? A bourbon? Is it a whiskey? Exactly. What are they calling this?
Straight bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
95 proof, which isn't bad. Aged in select white oak cask.
I'd love to try this after it's sat in barrels a little longer.
Yes.
I feel like it's a little young.
Yes. It's got you got a lot of that like almost apricot or apple.
Yeah, you're right. With the fruit, a little baking spice, a perfectly acceptable bottle. But
A little heavy on the price. I'd be happy if it was $65, $70.
they should toast that. Go for a second barreling in a toasted barrel. I bet you that'll take that spice edge off a little bit and really level it out. And you know what? Put it in the toasted barrels for a year and throw an age statement.
Just
on
think for $90, if you find it, you could show up to your next party with a Black Maple Hill and crack it open, no problem.
it. Guys, we're balling. We got Black Maple Hill.
Yeah.
All right, so we should go through some of the regular standard things. Welcome everybody to the auction and the show. I don't think we're doing a spit or swallow today.
Oh, thank God.
We really blew out our palates on Friday. That's basically where we try wacky old dusty liquor and see if we can handle swallowing it or not. And there was some vile things last Friday.
The coffee liqueur was just straight rancid, like
Yeah.
actually rancid. I think.
Yeah, it was. It was orange. We had an orange one.
Oh, Vinny, did you bring something today for spit or swallow?
Oh, he brought something that.
No, you weren't here for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
This is show him the box.
That's
This is
what
a
I'm doing.
dusty old
Hold on.
box.
Oh my God, that's right. I remember this. This looks great. This looks fancy. Was that Maker's Mark?
Maker's Mark. That's a vintage 70s Maker's Mark.
This is cool.
bottle.
You look at this, you're like, oh wow, this is going to be something sweet. However, personally selected for Ed Makowick, Terry House Cafe. That color's a little off.
That looks like it should have catfish in it.
Yeah.
That's river water, pond scum.
And then, so we talked about what causes that. That is because it's sealed.
It's
Still
must have got
sealed.
air in there somehow.
It's the cork disintegrates because you could see. I don't know if you could see that.
They stored it on its side.
It's
But-
twin. It's got a twin that is perfect, and it's in September.
Okay.
Oh wow!
September.
So that bottle came in. They stored one on its side, one upright. So, yeah, that'll do it.
So I've seen this before. I had a Jim Beam decanter. I sadly actually drank one like this. It was awful. I think it had someone put water in it too.
Oh well, what we've discovered is that when the decorative decanters sit in grandma's basement
Yep.
for decades,
Condensation maybe.
Christmas happens, kids come over, Thanksgiving,
Yes.
the kids go play in the basement, and they start sipping off the bottles,
Yep.
and then they fill them back up with water,
Yep.
so that they don't get caught emptying out Grandpa's bourbon.
Remember the Elvis Presley bottles we had? The decanter?
Every one of them was scotch taped back up.
It was about 12 proof by the time there was. It looked like I don't even know what.
It was pretty gross, and we were excited to sell full Elvis Presley decanters. Most of them, I think, are McCormick, which is not amazing juice, but they're fun.
The McCormick. That's what I had. Was a McCormick. The McCormick 12-year was. It's a good whiskey. There's one in my office. It's good.
But it goes bad in those decanters. The corks
The
fail
corks
on
suck.
them.
The corks
Yeah.
don't seal on the ceramic.
Not all of them. Some of the old crows manage to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, if you trust somebody who you're buying and selling with, and you want them to open it on video, something like that. I've seen that happen before. But all right, we already had a pour. We're in the middle of the auction. Looks like we're on lot 51. And then they're just ticking down. If you throw a bid at the last few seconds, it does extend the time. So you can get in there and push somebody out. Hopefully they don't get a notification that they're outbid and come back and slam against you.
So we had somebody was like, they were a little pissy because they're like, I bid, and then 7 minutes later I got outbid. Like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
How's that possible?
Well,
Because when you click bid, the other guy just got a notice on his phone saying you've been outbid. So he bid again. It's ping pong, Bo. You know, it doesn't.
it's an auction.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about this, rather than just getting into the vintage spirits business or the dusty whiskey business. It's an auction. It's live. The computer's taking everything down right now, and we're live in the on the YouTube. We're live on Facebook, and we're live in the app. So if you're watching on one of the other platforms, you can download the app. You can click right into it and watch the live show.
The app is key because on the other auction platforms we have, they'll send you an email. You may or may not check your email. With the app, it'll give you an instant thing. You click on it, you can bid again, or at least know you're outbid. It's the app is key.
I will say that our stream in the app is the most potato-looking thing I've seen.
Here,
The quality is so bad.
I'm gonna play ourselves right now.
Yeah, don't play it over.
It
the
looks great on
speakers.
my screen.
I'm watching it back through the internet, and
Oh, that's awful.
the quality is terrible.
It's not even full HD.
It looks like
so-
somebody with a flip phone in Ukraine sending us photos here.
I feel like we're all drone operators operating over a satellite link.
Yeah, so what's up with that?
I don't think our software provider can really handle the bandwidth that we're putting out. I don't think their thing's tuned up for it.
Yeah, and the share button's still broken too on the Android users, which I'm pissed off about. But
Well, they can only do so many fixes per quarter.
I know, getting the IT guys off their rear ends and put whatever they're doing down and get to work is tough. I know.
Looks like somebody's having trouble bidding. We're getting some people in the Facebook chat.
I got them.
You got them?
That was customer service while you were
You did customer service while
producing.
That's what I do.
Way to go. What are you mixing over there, Vinny? It looks like limoncello.
Well, our friends from Whiskey Advocate sent us over some recipes. Apparently, if you mix limoncello and Woodford Reserve,
What's it called? Is that
it's Sicilian sour.
It's probably supposed to be ice cold though.
Well, it just came out of the fridge.
Oh, all right, good.
so the limoncello is in the fridge. You're putting
Woodford in
Woodford
it.
Reserve into limoncello. I don't know. Maybe that's
Now
good.
I did equal parts. I don't know if I'm not really following the recipe right now.
Hold
I
it
got
up.
8 screens.
You're desperate to create alcoholic Mountain Dew, aren't you?
Well, now here's the thing. If it's
actually
not so
got
good,
Mountain
I'm
Dew
going
as
to.
well.
You're gonna chase it.
Hold it up to the camera. I want to see what that looks like. Urine.
I-
It looks
well,
like you're about to
right
drink a urine
now-
sample.
That looks like 2 a.m. at the bar.
One of my favorite bourbon cocktails is the Gosling's Diet ginger beer and some bourbon and a splash of lime. It's a Kentucky Mule.
that's what I drink all day.
That's my summer drink, but I got to tell you, it doesn't look very appealing. It has that.
This is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You got to use real lime juice.
Why don't you mix me a little one? Make me a mini one. I want to try it. Just a little.
Little scotchy scotch.
Yeah, a little deep.
Get some eyedroppers.
And remember, if you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook, do download the app. It will be look at that! Somebody just got excited. They just won their first bottle of Japanese blends. Nice.
There you go.
But you can also access it through our website. If you just go to goodbottleauctions.com, use the web interface. I find a lot of people are sort of reticent to download the app and just want to bid through the web.
Yeah, we got a few stragglers that struggle, but whatever. You could also use your browser and go that way too.
Yeah, here, send that down. I'm going to try Vinny's cocktail.
Here's your Italian urine there.
Oh, yeah. That definitely looks like me after my B12 in the morning.
Yeah.
So glad we know that now.
Oh, it smells refreshing. Wow. It doesn't smell like floor cleaner at all.
It probably is pretty good.
Yeah, here, try. You mind sharing? There you go. No, Vinny, that's great. I would go a little heavier on the bourbon next time, a little less lemon for my taste. Maybe a sprig of mint.
Ice.
Some ice.
There were other things mixed in, like some Earl Grey syrup and stuff. I don't have that on hand.
What was it?
Earl Grey syrup.
There's a couple good liquor stores in the area that have all those crazy mixers, those obscure mixers.
That is like alcoholic Mountain Dew, though, Vinny. It's pretty
That's
close to
alcoholic
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. I knew exactly what that was going to taste like as soon as he handed it over.
Well, good for
Oh
you.
no, I hate this. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I do have a tough time with sugary, syrupy stuff that limoncello is. I've had some bad ones, some real high proof limoncello that just
Yeah.
So the
rocket
homemade
fuel.
limoncello I had, it's Italian moonshine is what it is. Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's a little rough around the edges. I had when I was growing up, my parents rented a house from an Italian guy, and we lived there for a while. He would make his own wine, and he would make his own grappa. And I remember my father would go once a month to pay the rent, and it was up a hill.
Yeah.
And he would go up there, and he would be up there for an hour. And when he would come back down after he paid the rent, he was wobbling down the
He was rolling down the hill.
And I was like, "Oh, Dad went to pay the rent." That was fun, though.
That's funny.
I guess we have more bottles that we want to talk about. We'll at some point get into discussing buff turkey, what that is.
Yep. There's a lot of. I'm looking at the bidding activity. The Rip Van Winkles and the old Rips later in the auction are popping hot. There's some people going back and forth on them.
The Rip Van Winkle 23 year, this is a big opportunity for somebody. There's 2 decanter sets in this sale.
And that's probably the only thing that's more rare than the A.H. Hirsch. Not only is it a big name, but it's also, legendary juice.
Yes.
You know.
23 year Rip Van Winkle Family Reserve. That's
Not
the
old
best
Rip
of
Van
the
Winkle.
best.
Or not Pappy Van Winkle.
It's Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle 23. When did that come out? 08, something like that?
Ooh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I didn't actually do a write-up on those bottles because they kind of speak for themselves.
That's when you get into the bourbon world, that's usually your first big baller you hear about is the Pappy world, and then the Pappy of all Pappies is that one. I thought I heard there's a 25-year too that's floating around out there that exists.
I think there's 25-year, yeah.
That's
That's very rare.
That's the only one that kind of trumps the one we have here, which good luck finding one.
Yeah, those are the old Rip
Yep.
Van Winkle 25-year does exist.
Yep. 40,000 or more.
if you find one, you know what are you gonna? The person who has it isn't gonna let it go.
You buy insurance and then let it go from there.
Yeah, I guess.
Here, one of the online retailers has one offered for 45,000.
Yeah, and I bet you they don't have it in hand.
Yeah.
And
we should talk about online retailers.
Yeah, we should, because I have that on my list today. We get a lot of phone calls when people find a bottle in their house,
Yep.
when people find a bottle in an estate. They Google the bottle, they Google where to sell it, and they land on us right away.
Right.
And so we'll get the call, hey, I have a bottle of such and such rye from such and such year. And I'm like, great, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
We'd like to sell it for you. It's easy, just bring it down or ship it in. We totally take all the pain out of the process.
Right.
But what they've done is they've Googled that bottle and seen a price for $1,800.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
it's the Google algorithm is
The Google product algorithm, by the way.
Yes, it is tilted towards you buying something.
Mm-hmm.
So people pay for placement. The online sellers of alcohol have shops set up. It's just a website. There are some legitimate ones like Cask Cartel and the Wooden Cork. Those are legitimate sellers.
Seal Box, I think, is another one that
Seal
people talk
Box
about.
is great, but they don't do Dusties.
Yeah, okay.
So some of these, they're legitimate businesses, but when they put a price on something, it's occasionally it seems reasonable, but occasionally it's this astronomical pie in the sky, weird,
So
above secondary, above auction price.
what's going on behind the scenes, and this is where like Japanese culture and Asian culture comes in handy, is it's a brokered deal.
That bottle isn't sitting on a shelf somewhere.
It's not sitting on a shelf in a warehouse in Toledo. They know there's a couple of people in their network that has one. They throw a huge price on it,
a crazy, let's make a big profit price.
and then if you click buy and you put your credit card in there, they go, oh yeah, okay, hold on, and they call George and they call Danny, and they're like, listen, what do you want for your bottle? We'll give you 30. Now, mind you, they just took $45,000 credit card payment.
Right.
They find it, fulfill the order, hit the card, and life is good. It's a brokered deal, and it's crazy.
So some of these places, like I said, are legit. They do have the bottles in hand, and they can ship them right out.
I wish we knew which ones. If anybody, like, fact.
But I'll offer some proof. So the illegal secondary market, so the places where people trade bottles on
The black market.
Facebook,
Face market.
Face market.
I think you just created a new website.
It's not Facebook Marketplace. It's not like you can open the Facebook app and type in buy secondary bourbon. Like if you do that, you're going to get scammed.
Yep.
There's a ton of scammer Nigerian
It's the Wild West, baby.
rip-off groups on there. So you have to deal with someone you know.
Yep.
The rules on secondary markets are very strict. You know, you have to be invited to the groups. You have to maintain references. You have to open up your profile.
It's a private
certain
club.
way. It's a private club.
It's a private club.
It's a private club. And the groups get taken down all the time because it's illegal to do this. So you might be in one of the best and most active groups, and then one day it's gone.
I got my teeth cut with this whole scenario almost a decade ago with the gun world because it was the same thing. Facebook and politically, guns are much different than alcohol, but it was all underground, little back alley groups of Facebook, and they would have ambiguous names. You're like, what is MB212? Like, what is that? And but it was very active, very lively. It was a private club. Just about everybody trusted everybody else because there was a whole checks and balances system in there.
Right.
Unwritten.
Now, you weren't selling the guns illegally.
No.
You were selling them to dealers and people who had active federal firearms licenses.
Without going too deep, politically, the politicians said there's all kinds of illegal gun sales going on. Really, it was just people doing what people do. You buy a gun, you ship it to that person's dealer, they come and pick it up. Or if they're in the same state, they could do it. 99% of them were abiding by the law.
They were just transacting on Facebook.
They were advertising.
Yeah. So there's no commission.
Right.
You can set your price.
Right.
You can say no to a transaction.
Right.
So it's a free market in that sense.
It's old Craigslist. Remember Craigslist?
Well, Craigslist is scary too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Craigslist was it was Craigslist, and you knew all the phone numbers of the legit sellers.
Right.
And it was guns. Obviously, they hated, and now years later, now with Good Bottle, we see the same thing with the whiskey. Now, the ironic thing is, what was going on with the guns was perfectly legal 99% of the time. With alcohol, I don't think there's any states that allow an individual to sell alcohol directly. Technically, it's gray area. There's no law against it. There's no law allowing it.
Right. You can't be engaged in the business of selling
Correct.
alcohol without
a
license.
permit.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. And I tell people this all the time. As an auctioneer, we do alcohol and guns. Both items have deep legal history where in this country, generally, if it's not illegal, it's perfectly legal. Free country.
Sort of. Until someone interprets the law for themselves.
Well,
that
that's what happened. Well, hold on. And that's where case law, both guns, the NFA Act happened in the 30s and Prohibition happened in the 20s and 30s. And that, because they banned a lot of stuff and then brought it back, it was just the opposite. Everything is illegal unless we tell you could do it or give you a permit to do it.
Which side seems most constitutional, Tom?
Now you're getting deep. If you want me to fill 3 hours of air, I can. But
we know you're full of.
Let's have more drinks and watch more bidding going on.
Anyway, the point is, yes, if you get the invite, yes, you can transact these things on Facebook. But if you really want to do this legitimately, if you want to realize your investment, if you want to trade fairly, legally, ship properly, and deal with someone legitimate, you should be dealing with an auction house like us, because everything's going to be transparent. You're going to have a contract. You're going to get your money. You're dealing with real people in a real brick and mortar building. And that brings up the more important point that we were about to talk about, is how the prices differ, right? How do I say this? Some of the whiskey purists, some of the people who hunt bottles and pay retail and really are upset about secondary prices, they kind of hate on us a little bit.
So first off,
What, are you texting your wife over there?
No. Somebody just asked me a question. They said, "Hey Tom, I just bid on a bunch of stuff. Will I get a notification from Outbid?" Absolutely. A notification comes right through the top. So the funny thing with secondary, if you're not part of a Facebook group, you don't know how much secondary bottles transact. And this is you going back to what you say about people calling. If you got an old Dusty and you hop online and you see a price tag of $2,000, but then you go to our website, our auction, or somebody else's, or wherever, and you see it's transacting business all day long for $1,200, you're not going to know that. You don't know what the secondary. When it comes to cars or other things, usually everybody's familiar with the secondary value. Alcohol, we're becoming kind of like the blue book of value.
Yeah. There are some blue book sites. There's sites that list these bottles.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you another thing to watch out for scammers. Some of those sites are just set up so that you'll reach out and sell them bottles.
Yes.
They're like thirst traps for inexperienced bourbon sellers.
And actually, the big consignor of this auction, he was on a forum / buy sell website, and he had some crazy prices on bottles. As sure, for that much, I'll give it to you. But that was him doing business. It was a Yankee peddler kind of website.
Right. And if you reached out, I think he might have sold a couple. That increased in value or got notorious.
And here's the other problem too. We run into this all the time in the auction world. Somebody puts a listing up there for $20,000. Okay, says sold. Oh, it's sold for 20. You don't know that.
I can write anything I want on the internet.
They could write anything you want, but two people could have reached out, and they cracked a deal for $16,000.
Right.
So, Ezzy.
So that begs the question. If you call us and say, well, I saw this is $2,000 bottle. Yeah, in the auction, we'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you what it's transacting for. Real money today, you're going to get $1,200 for it. Or honestly, I'm sorry, what's in the bottle isn't all that exciting, and maybe it'll bring $350 or $300.
The reason the court systems, and when I say court, I mean probate, bankruptcy, divorce, trust auctions, is because it's transparent, it's public. There's as little shenanigans as possible going on.
We post the results. You can look
Post
through
the
them.
results. If you call me and say, hey, what happened to lot 286? I'll be like, all right, well, a guy named Bob bid on it, and a guy named John, and then Tina did, and then you came in and won it for $700.
That's something that's really great about our software too.
Yep.
Is not only can users go in and see what everything's sold for, but if someone has a question and they call us, I've got a bid log. I've got IP addresses.
Yep.
I can't see what everybody bid. It's not. There's no shenanigans in the background.
Right.
But what I can do is I can go back and be like, all right, what happened?
It's a highly controlled environment.
Yeah. And it's fair for everybody.
Right.
You might get a score. Something might sell a little bit low, and you might get outbid. And if you get outbid, don't be a baby.
Mm-hmm.
That means someone else wanted it more than you and used their wallet to fight.
Yep.
But when it gets really interesting is when we start to see different prices in different places. So you and I deal in markets all the time. We have a firearms auction, a Connecticut firearms auction. We have the good bottle auctions. We also deal in other markets, and we see
Ryan hustles precious metals and jewelry and watches here.
Yeah, it's a fun.
What are you wearing today? Anything good? Panerai?
Today is
Omega
Speedmaster Mark IV.
Oh, is that a dusty watch?
This is a dusty watch. This is a
That's the one you were messing around with earlier? Yeah.
1978 Omega. I think I got to get the crystal clean. This looks a little foggy, but
Yeah.
that this is called. I think it's in the line with the Jedis. One of the Jedis. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I still want my Casio remote control watch.
Television remote.
I'm going to
control.
start messing with Vinny and start hitting the TVs. If it works.
Apparently, we're a silent movie on Bid Wrangler.
Bid Wrangler doesn't have an audio feed. Then you have to set the audio to go through the camera, the virtual camera.
So I'm trying now.
Oh, I know why. It's because you got to select the audio source separately.
I will tell you this much, Ryan. I'm on here trying to play with it. The picture quality's gotten a touch better.
It seems to come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny, you know what it is? On all of our other sources, the main podcast board gets pushed out to the streams. So we may... I'm not exactly sure how to do that.
Me either. It only gave me the option to use.
Go through the virtual camera. So if you leave OBS up and try and source that audio through the camera, the virtual camera, try the settings there.
Maybe we'll take an intermission in a little bit, and
We won't have to. He can just
Yeah.
he can probably do it live. The danger is that he'll make the entire show feedback through the whole setup.
Yeah.
We're about to find
No
out. I'm gonna hit a
pressure.
button.
Yeah, hit a button and make sure we don't echo into.
I'm going to start
oblivion.
making crazy noises so it sounds like he screwed up.
You think you got it?
Let's go to the videotape.
Here, I'm going to hit it right here. Let's see. It shows it's good on this side.
It's got a feed, but it's just silent.
Let's try something else. Those were very small pours, so I'd like to try something else.
Yeah,
while we're
good
on the
idea.
show. And we've got some more bottles to talk about too.
We're at lot one. Let's do a checkup on the auction. Lot 131. We're at Copper and Cast. Copper and Cast. Talk about
Listen,
underrated.
you can just walk. You don't have to crawl behind our cameras. It's okay.
You can see. You can put your face on screen.
We can see you on
Hold
camera.
on. Should I take the camera and pan and annoy her a little bit?
So
yeah,
we're in the C's, right? Courvoisiers are selling right now. the
we
Aritays.
just hit the Airtays. Airtays going off in 10 seconds here. Blue bottle Airtay. Has anybody ever actually opened one of these and had it?
I think it's regular Courvoisier. I
You
think
sure
it's
you're buying an artwork?
You're buying packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Okay, all right. I get it. I do that too.
Well, so
Oh, there's some dusty Courvoisier coming up too.
in a crate, isn't there one in a crate?
Yes, that's a lot 138. Pretty cool.
Very neat. Oh, now they're over there pouring sake.
Suck it to you.
Sake. Wow. Tom, did you know you also have headphone volume control over there? You
No,
can actually.
you got
There's a little knob underneath where your headphones go in,
Everybody-
and you can make your headphones go up and down too.
every time I sit down, you guys are like super. Ooh, there, that's too loud.
Improving the studio. Yeah.
Hello. Okay, that's cool. Does that work?
Your
Oh, it
cough
did work.
button works. Yeah.
Look at that. Well, I think it felt like it shut. It did. It shut off my headphones too.
No, it just turns your mic off so you can't hear it. Oh, I'll try some sake, Ezzy. Why not?
Oh.
What is it?
cold?
Is this a special? Here, you can use that microphone. You're not on camera, but we can hear you anyway.
This is cold sake, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a draft sake. It's from Hakutsuru.
Very.
Who?
Hakutsuru.
Okay.
It's it's a junmai, which is just a filtration process.
Not much of a nose to it.
No,
Mm,
it's
sake-
very clean. It's refreshing.
What's the proof on this? There's a lot of alcohol.
40?
in it.
14.
14. Yeah. That's the problem with sake is you could kill a whole bottle.
Wow, that is light and refreshing and delicious. That's the best sake
Exactly.
I ever had. I mean, it tastes like clean, delicious rice wine.
Yeah, it
This
does.
is, there is a
Hand Tom the bottle so he can show it off.
junmai, which is the filtration. It's filtered more than just junmai.
Wow.
So
So
it's
there's
like
different grades.
so it's like vodka triple filtered kind of concept.
Here, can we see the bottle? I'm impressed with this.
I am too.
I'll tell a story because it's a little bit embarrassing for Ezzy, but she brought a bottle of sake to my Halloween party.
It wasn't sake. It was.
Oh, it was mead.
It was yes.
It was mead.
It was ginger mead.
Ginger mead, and I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to try something totally different, completely outside of my wheelhouse." And this is interesting, simple. That's great. Thank you for bringing that. And she poured it, and I took a big sniff, and I went, "Oh no, it smells like baby wipes." and as soon as that happened, I couldn't get that out of my brain, and I drank it. And I'm like, "Yep, sounds like it tastes like I'm drinking the juice at the bottom of the bin
God.
of baby wipes."
Ugh.
And I couldn't go back. And you like it, and that's good for you, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't drink the ginger mead.
So I've had hot sake, warm sake, and I like that. I think this is the first cold sake you've had, and this is it's refreshing. Like
I would sit on the deck on a little summer
Yeah.
day, and this is delicious. Thank you.
Do you put ice in sake or no?
No.
No,
It's a wine,
You
right?
got to keep it. You got to keep it ice like a champagne. You got to keep it in a bucket of ice, probably, if you're outside.
That's great. Awesome. Something totally different. And you know what? It's not wrecking our palate either. So it's not gonna trash us for trying a whiskey in a little bit. What are we? Well, lots of
Eagle Rare, 146.
Regular Eagle Rare, 10 years going off, and right after that, the 17 years go off.
17 years, the BTAC. You guys, I probably don't have to say this because everybody's a pro, but when we do the titles, it's got to jive with other platforms and stuff. But you got to click on it or look on it a certain way and see the years, because obviously there's some key years that are much better than others. Yeah, these early Eagle Rares, 05, 04, 03 Eagle Rares, these are great.
So we got a question in the YouTube chat. Is there a rule of thumb on the worth of every year a bottle gathers dust? So that's interesting.
I would say no.
Not a rule of thumb. So there's a couple of constants in the whiskey world. One of those is what's in the bottle matters.
It will if it's not great, it will not sell great.
There could be some average or mediocre whiskey in a fancy decanter, and if you want to collect the set, go for it. If you want to collect every year of a certain whiskey, I say go for it. Enjoy it, put it on the shelf, display it, have fun, take pictures, put them on the internet, get your bottle at the store and take a picture with your watch and your steering wheel and your Ford Focus. I don't care.
Show the flex.
You should flex and have fun. That's what this is all about. This is all about having a good time, sharing a drink with friends. But when it comes down to the value, what another person is willing to pay, what's in the bottle matters. We talked about it on the Black Maple Hill, right? Not the sexiest looking bottle, but what's in here is awesome and people are willing to pay for it. I'll show you another cool bottle and we'll talk about it in a minute that's just unique looking. Might not be
look at
the
that
most
thing.
valuable ever, but look at this old granddad. It's a 175. It's shaped like a hand grenade. Got the literal handle on it and a big old plastic cap. This is bottom shelf juice.
Yep.
From the 1970s.
Yep. And then I would say generally, with rule of thumb, the best, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, the best years were the 60s, late 60s, 70s, and 80s. Just because of the industry. 80s, they had old barrels all over the place. And
Yeah, the glut starts in the early 1960s or late 60s. Late 60s,
68.
The glut starts. People stopped drinking bourbon, and there was so much on hand that they left it in barrels, and now you started getting hyper-aged stuff.
that's when beer was like king, I think, too, back then.
Wild Turkey and Old Granddad were throwing crazy aged bottles into their regular shelf juice.
There was no Excel spreadsheet telling them when the barrel was put there, how long it's been sit. They just knew, do that
Yeah.
rack there.
I'm about to push a button.
Okay.
All right, push it.
Vinny, push the button, see if it fixes the audio. We may run screaming and have to strip our headphones off if it all echoes.
I'm not going to do anything, but okay.
Oh, see, this is great. People are jumping on YouTube because they can't hear us on the app. So that's good. They got the emails, push notifications went out. If you're able to test the audio on the
Nope.
app, nothing? Okay. We're working on it. I didn't realize that audio feed wouldn't go through the camera source onto the app.
Someday you guys will get it.
Well, listen, there's a lot of moving parts here. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube.
I'm not saying
we're
it
on
was
the app.
easy. I'm just saying I don't know if we've had a perfect technical day yet.
Friday was great. Friday was a perfect technical show.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting better.
I know.
So back to the thing. Is there a rule of thumb? No, there isn't, because the most beautiful thing about collecting and trading vintage spirits is they keep in the bottle. If the cork doesn't go bad, if you store it upright, it will keep for decades and decades and decades. We opened a bottle that was 100 years old and it was delicious. However,
Once they're open, different story.
right. As
Oxygen.
other people buy those bottles and consume them, the supply is ever dwindling. So this is a unique collectible in that way that the people who buy it sometimes consume it, and then it's gone forever and no more will be made. This isn't just like Weller 12-year, which you can go to the liquor store and find in some cases, or your buddy has or picks up a case or whatever. It's a bottle of whiskey that went into the bottle in 2003, and they only made 2,000 bottles. 1,000 of them got drank back then. Maybe 500 saved. Maybe 100 are hitting market in the last 10 years.
Right.
That the value of that bottle is just going to go up,
Yep.
and
Re-
the supply will always go down.
People always ask me anyways, what's a good investment grade thing, whether it's alcohol or whiskey. And Ryan, you probably could speak more eloquently about it than I can, but it comes down to rarity. If you're collecting common stuff, it's never going to be that much more. But if it's the rarity, condition, of course, with alcohol, it's either drank or it ain't drunk, whatever. Condition and rarity limited. If it was very rare to have a limited edition bottle back in the 60s or 70s, they didn't do that.
Well, during the glut, they made a lot of limited editions, but all the stuff inside was the same.
Yeah.
The only thing limited was
I'm
how
not-
many duck decanters they
Yeah,
made.
I'm not talking decant. I'm talking about the actual, reserve or 26-year bourbon or something crazy. I'm talking
You go into the liquor store and you got Jim, Jack, and Johnny.
yeah, three wise men.
You got Jim, Jack, and Johnny, and which one are you going to get that day? And
Right.
they came out with a Grand Tetons Wyoming decanter. Maybe I'll pick that one up for Joe for Christmas or whatever.
Oh, look, a Chevy Bel Air decanter.
Right. Oh, cool. My dad had one of those cars. I'll buy that.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
how they sold bourbon because it wasn't in demand. They had to put it in fancy packaging. Now, you see that with all kinds of whiskey. You see that with Japanese whiskey. You see that with Canadian whiskey. You see fancy decant, like all those samurai decanters.
Yep.
I'm a sucker for them. I got a bunch of the samurai decanters. I don't know that what's in there is necessarily better than blended Japanese whiskey,
Right.
but they're cool. I got a samurai in my office. I like it.
It looks good on the bar. It's got that bar flair.
But also, you see pictures of some people's collection, and their bar is the entire BTAC series, the entire Pappy line.
So going back to like good collectible, like that old Granddad 114 from the 60s, in my opinion, is right up there with the A.H. Hirsch.
It's delicious.
That is probably only second to that.
Yeah, we did try that on the show.
And a 114 Granddad, that was a premium bottle back in that day.
Old Granddad was never a top shelfer, but
Yeah,
that was
it was a top shelf of a bottom shelfer.
they didn't make as much of the 114. Not
Right.
then.
But even now you walk into a liquor store, there's the 114 is, an extra $4 over, $5 over the
$29.99
stuff.
in my local,
Right.
and I like it. It's good.
Right.
But that was a gold packaging that we opened up. That was a Christmas release or something like that.
Still, was that 68?
70s, 60s, 70s, yeah, somewhere in there.
That was, and you had given away half of it before I found it.
Oh, really? You didn't get to try that early on?
Is that actually that one there in the auction? That green box, old Granddad. That's This is
All right.
this is kind of the same thing. I know maybe I'm jumping in your
No, that's okay. I wanted to talk about these bottles. What letter are we on now? We're on E's. We're on Eagle Rare. 17 years are all selling.
Yep.
All right. So this came to us from a Dusty, I think, an estate. Yeah, I think so. We've got the original box here. This is probably one of the gift boxes, just green and gold. It just doesn't say anything other than 100 proof. So this is the bottled and bond product. Old Granddad with the tax stamp.
72 it looks like from here. 77.
So this was distilled in spring of 72, bottled in fall of 1980. Somebody
8-year-old.
listed this as 12-year-old in the catalog, but it's 8-year-old. Am I wrong
Update
about
correction.
that? Yeah, I might need an update correction on that.
449.
So,
Vincenzo, it's all you.
but the Old Granddad 100 proof bottled in bond is always in demand, and it is delicious. The important thing to remember this, I know I say it all the time, but the grains that they used to distill this, the distilling methods, the barrels were different. Everything about it was different.
Non-GMO.
You're talking everything was not GMO, right? Came from a farmer with a face.
Heritage grains.
Yeah. Nobody called it that then, right? But that's the real deal right there. Very interesting.
No. They got it right.
They did.
448?
447.
Oh, 447. Well,
I think they might have got the age statement wrong. on that.
448 is correct. Yeah, they call it 12-year.
It's not 12-year, it's 8-year.
Well, they did say made in 72, bottled in 80. So it's the title's wrong, but the rest of it's good.
Okay. They got the year wrong.
Oh, and maybe
We're
I'll
human.
even fix it.
We have human. Yeah, go ahead and do
I
an
can fix
update on it.
This is that's the other, talk about the auction process and updates and everything else too.
So, what's that, Vinny?
What number was it that's off?
I got it. 447.
So, we have a whole team who comes in here and helps us catalog. Vinny does most of it. Vinny is the manager. He is the heart and soul of Good Bottle Auctions, and we appreciate him very much. Not only does he handle the logistics and the pickups and the consigning and the cataloging supervision and helps us pick and pack all the orders for shipping.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He refuses to ship.
He's not packing the
I
bottles.
never was refused to ship.
You were. I had one, and you were like, "Oh, yeah, I'll get to it."
I've never once. I
Yeah,
certainly picked them for you.
you
though.
pick them. Yeah, all day long.
We're bringing in
I think you're
some-
nervous to pack because if it breaks and it's your fault, I think
Let
you're.
Michael and Shane take the hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Our,
Which is okay.
We'll be bringing in some help for shipping this week because we're behind on the firearms auction side. And we will get your bottles out as fast as possible. The procedure is pretty simple. Once you win your bottles and you get your invoice, you can pay it with a credit card. The credit card on file. You can also request that you want to come and pay in person. That's fine too. You can pay cash, can pay by check. But if you need shipping, just reply to the invoice and say, "Hey, hit me up with shipping." We'll add it to the invoice. We'll charge the card on file, and we'll get you in line. We generally go in order of people who've paid for their shipping or requested it. And we ship as fast as possible. Now, that could mean that some bottles go out the first day. It could mean that your order takes an extra few days because maybe you bought 15 bottles and 2 of them were Willet pot still decanter
Oh,
bottles
my God.
or whatever. So there's some challenging things to ship, like those Rip Van Winkle 23 years.
Probably should. So let's talk about that too. So we ship. We also will work with you for courier if it's a particularly fragile or high
valuable,
dollar. We had a customer go on, what was the website?
You ship?
U-Ship or one of those. So you could actually get a trucker or a legit,
Courier.
well, I think a courier, I think a dude on a bicycle in New York City. But like you could get an actual logistics trucker, courier, whatever guy, and he'll put it in the front seat with him on his way down to wherever you're going.
Yeah, you can meet him at
So-
a truck stop or something. I
Yeah,
mean,
or right. So that does with the internet it makes it easy because it's
we have. I was in the antiques business for many years. I did estates, antiques, art, furniture, that sort of thing, and we had a group of guys. My mother just had a bunch of business cards taped to her desk, and she'd be like, "Oh, call Tony. Tony goes to Ohio twice a week.
right.
So if it's going that way, you can meet Tony, and he puts it on the. He says,
Yep.
$200 to put it on the van.
Yep.
And it shows up where you need to be, and it's especially useful if you bought a desk or
Right.
a 6 foot tall mirror.
Or a $15,000 bottle of whiskey.
Right, because it's going to go in a truck. It's going to stay under lock and key, and they value their reputation on the third party.
Right.
apps.
There's an actual name and dude associated with who's handling it. It's not some random UPS worker, and we all know that they might not be that great.
And I don't know that it qualifies for the interstate shipment of alcohol. You're just moving a bottle for a buddy, right?
It's a package. They're a
Right?
third-party carrier.
Anyway, it's possible, right? But we will ship something like that, and we do have very good specific insurance for this.
Mm-hmm.
It costs, but
It's 1%.
they cover alcohol in the bottle in the shipment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've had a claim, and it went through. So,
and it was
you know,
fine.
It's just because sometimes a cork lets go. I mean, it just happens.
We shipped 500 bottles out last time. I think we had 1 or 2 break. And, of course, I think it was this damn Mezcal bottle, Class A.
Oh, God, I hate those.
But you think about it, we fret over it because we want to see every bottle make it.
Yeah.
But 1 out of 500 breaking, that's pretty damn good.
One of the things that you get from dealing with us is we value our reputation. So we make it right with people. You know, we work with you. If it's something that falls into a gray area or whatever, we're like, hey, no problem, send the bottle back. I mean, I think that's how we ended up drinking a bottle of Van Winkle Lot B.
The insurance company paid for it. And when we offered to give it back, because they have salvage rights, but they're like, nah, we're good.
Well, like, come on down, have a pour. We'd like to meet you.
Yeah.
What else haven't we covered in the auction? We talked about the app. We're still trying to get the audio running over
Yeah,
there.
I just checked the audio. It's still not working.
Yeah, this is odd.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Maybe something we need to address before.
Yeah,
we're committed.
it may be the settings for that camera output in the actual in Windows.
I think it's not letting me change anything because we're live on the air on Twitter
Okay.
channels.
Oh, well. We'll learn for next time. You can see us, but you can't hear us.
Womp
Too bad,
womp.
so sad.
Do you guys know ASL?
They said that we're echoing now on YouTube, and it's really bad, so whatever you change it back.
Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, we appreciate having you in the chat. So whatever you change it back. I guess we're echoing over there.
Was it maybe it's your
Hopefully not on Facebook, too. Yeah. Not sure.
Now?
have someone outside this room?
Yeah, as you
Log
can
in.
actually plug her headphones into her computer and see if it's echoing on
Doing
those
it right
apps.
now.
She can actually pull it up and check it in third party.
Not with that. Oh, there you go. He's got the little adapter deal. Yeah, there you go.
She knows how to use broadcast equipment. She's done this thousands of times. She actually used to be ESPN board up. She used to be a CCC board up. So that's how we met. We met on radio in a previous life. Let's see. What else do we have to go over? You want to go over some more bottles? I have a few more coming up. We're in the
Yeah.
apps.
I'm thirsty. Four Roses is hitting right now. Four Roses is doing well.
I'd like to try some older Four Roses because I've had a bunch of different ones, different recipes, and
I
things.
have my. If you really want to be a baller, I have my
Much better.
distillery only
All solved. Sounds good now.
travel center only release 20-year-old Four Roses. We should try a basic $35, $40 bottle. And I know they have like 15 different recipes. We were supposed to do that little recipe tour at one point, but
Oh, don't you have one of those four-bottle things?
no, it's like 8 bottles. They have like 8 recipes or something.
We should. Well, eight tastes. Maybe.
They're
Try it.
8. They're 8 like nippers.
We have other stuff to try here. We have some Penelope Havana. We have.
Okay, sure. I'll introduce.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I love Penelope. I love Penelope Rio, and then this bottle was on my radar real hard for the last 16 months. Last year, I think it just came out. It came out very recently, and I love sweet whiskey. This is finished a straight bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup and rum barrels. That sounds and double cask finished, whatever that means, because I don't know if that means maple syrup barrel then rum barrel or both, and mix them or whatever, but. It's a Penelope product. It's 93 proof, which is a little on the low side, but okay, no problem. And I had super high hopes for it. I thought this was going to be my new favorite. And everybody I talked to who's had it, they're like, oh, yeah, I have 6 bottles at home. It's my favorite. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'll let you try it.
Yeah, don't color my my.
Clear your palates, boys.
All right, let's
We'll give it a
go
shot.
with some water.
While we're clearing glasses and palettes. So then in the same spirit of the whole maple area, this is a Nulu, which Nulu is an interesting company because it's
an NDP, right? Non-distilling producer. It's just a brand.
Yeah, but it's they're MGP actually. It actually says distilled by MGP of Indiana, bottled by PCS Distilling Company. PCS would be your what do you call it?
Distilling producer, the
Non-distilling
company that owns
producer.
Nulu, yeah.
And I've had good stuff with Nulu, but they were kind of like just whatever. They were background noise. So this is one of their more expensive bottles on the shelf. It's called Maple Brulee, and you're like, what the hell is that? Maple Brulee is an ex-bourbon barrel that aged maple syrup, and then it was sent back and aged bourbon again.
Okay. So lots of life in that barrel.
Yeah, that barrel's been got some miles on it.
So they put bourbon in it, then they put maple syrup in it, then they went back and put bourbon in it again.
Well,
Okay.
they had distillate. They threw it in a barrel that had aged bourbon, aged maple syrup, and now is aging bourbon again.
Okay.
We're finished.
It
We're
looks
finished.
dark. It looks very dark. Let's do one at a time, though. Which one are we going to pour here?
The problem too is they're both kind of the same flavor profile.
All right.
So maybe we should do one now and maybe another one in a couple hours.
Put the Nulu to the side. Let's
All right.
focus on the Penelope Havana because that's one that I see showing up in secondary. I see people trading this.
I love the
bottle.
label too. I love the '80s Havana label. We have a set of guns in back. That would be we should get a bottle of Havana and everything. A white leisure suit.
Miami Nights is what it looks like.
I have Vinny. I have high hopes for you on this one too. I want you to try this one. I think you'll like this one.
All right, I'll take just a little bit there. Tom and I have very different tastes when it
Yes.
comes to whiskey. You like sweet. You like ultra complex.
And I have to say that I've been maturing as well because it's. I do like the sweets, but I like a good solid bourbon now too. You know, good 12-year Van Winkle or something. It kind of depends on the day of the week. You know.
Not a super strong nose. I don't get any sugar, sweet, or dessert on the nose.
Yeah, I do.
I get maybe some cinnamon or nutmeg.
Yeah, it's sweet. I smell the maple syrup. Now, mind you, rum is also from brown sugar.
This is very sugary.
Yes,
It tasted like sugar's been added to it.
it's too sweet. In my opinion, it's too sweet.
If this was
Bullshit. Pour me some.
This is Vinny. You're gonna love this stuff.
Thanks, Ez.
Ezra, would you like some too or no?
it's syrupy sweet.
Yes, it's like maple syrup. It's like drinking maple syrup.
Yeah, but better. Like I would like this on a dessert. You know, like a dessert you light on fire.
So, when I was in Tahiti,
I'm sure you could cut it with a cocktail.
the thing to do there, the locals told me, you buy a bottle of their rum. They have pretty good rum there, and then they're well known for their vanilla beans, really good.
Okay.
So they jam the vanilla beans into the rum bottle,
Okay.
and now of course Tom Selmont decides to jam like 30 of them in there.
Yeah, you can over vanilla something.
It's still delicious, but it's like woo, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy says, well, my grandmother taught us, put it over ice cream. You get some like good vanilla ice cream or good quality hard ice cream and you put this over it. That is,
This, yeah, I would put this on ice cream. That
and
would be
what I'm
delicious.
saying is this would probably be, I don't know how you, see the vanilla beans when you jam it in rum, it kind of thickens it up because it dissolves the
Yeah,
stuff.
This is too much straight. It's a sugar
it's
bomb
sugar.
straight, but
Yep.
there are 100 uses for this, and it's delicious. I would put it in food. What's that? What do they pour over tiramisu?
Well, espresso is in it.
Yeah, espresso in it, but they put a liqueur over the top of it. Don't they put an Italian? They pour something over the top of tiramisu.
I think
when
you
they
just
serve
invented
it.
something. Havana tiramisu.
Havana tiramisu. I could see this going on that.
Ladyfinger pastries dipped in coffee, layered with whipped mixture, egg yolks, sugar, mascarpone, flavored with cocoa powder.
And don't they pour a little alcohol over the top of it?
I don't know. Maybe it's amaretto. You're probably thinking of amaretto, maybe.
Maybe.
It has been claimed that tiramisu has aphrodisiac effects. That's interesting.
Game on.
Sure? I don't. I'm getting hungry for dessert.
I was just going to say you're going to bring home some tiramisu tonight, aren't you?
I'll stop at Byron's and get some creme brulee. Creme brulee is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They have a good one there. But
No,
okay,
I would not tell anyone not to buy this bottle, but if you like sweet, if you like
sweet, you're gonna love this.
sweet and spicy.
I love sweet, and it's a little too sweet for me. Notice the bottle's mostly empty.
Yeah.
That was me. So,
In the last half hour.
yeah, that's what I was driving in today. I just started cracking it open.
oh, you know what I meant to bring in for today was Heaven Hill 19 year.
Oh my God, what the hell?
Maybe we'll save that for happy hour next Friday.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So my question is, all right, let's say I want to put this on something, right? Make it into a dessert. How do I thicken this guy up?
More thick than it
Well, like I
is.
told you, you put the vanilla beans in the rum. It almost kind of makes it a little bit thicker. Well, you put it on the ice
I
cream.
wouldn't mess with that. Just put it right over ice cream.
we're gonna have to get vanilla ice cream for the next show and just start putting random stuff on top of it.
No.
Ice cream social hour.
I don't know anybody wants to see us eat ice cream, Tom. I mean, they like hearing about whiskeys, but
Maybe that's how I can get my wife into the whiskey world. I'll just feed her ice cream with whiskey on the top of it.
yeah, you seem to have a problem getting alcohol into your wife.
I would love. I just want her to relax and enjoy life for a minute, and she usually passes out before she can have a drink. She's just tired of taking care of the kids.
You have to
but
stop giving her the pills then.
I don't even need to give her pills. She just does it on her own.
Tom Cosby over here.
Tom Cosby.
Like, what is going on at the Selma house?
Oh, look at there's something hot popping. George T. Stagg's lots of
there
bidding
they go.
activity.
There they go. So some of those are some of the first few years.
Yeah,
of
these
George
are
T.
hot.
Stagg.
And
And
there's
they're the
peop-
hazmats.
There's people bidding live. I'm looking at the bid history here.
That's great. They're going after it, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is our best auction yet, by the way. And I want to thank the consigners. I want to thank all the bidders, all the registrants who came in here, the people who trust us, the people who come back. We have some excellent regulars. I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but we've got a couple of people who come and bid in every auction, come and consign in every auction.
We love
And,
you.
We love you. We appreciate you. This is
Thank
a
you for the
community.
business. Sincerely.
And, we need to do more events. We need to get out and share pours and bring Dusties to more people.
That's that's what I would love to hear from people in the YouTube world is what is a good popular show that you guys actually attend, because it doesn't seem like there's any like one stop. Like we did the Connecticut food and wine show in Mohegan, which was popular, but like we talk about this all the time. What's a huge whiskey bourbon get together? And I'm not talking just a little regional, but like a big one. What's one that people drive a long way to come to?
I think we're going to do Whiskey Fest with the Whiskey Advocate. That's this fall. I think November.
In New York.
Yeah. The challenge is you bring things to pour and sample. We did the Mohegan Sun Wine Fest back in March. That was a blast. What a fun show.
Yeah. Meanwhile, me and Ezzy were in Syracuse.
You went to a gun show on your own.
No, that was for work, but that was in Syracuse, New York. It was snowing. We were in a miserable little place.
We were in a nice warm casino.
You're in a casino with
Beautiful
people,
women.
Krispy
yes,
Kreme.
exactly. Beautiful people and women and drinking and having a good time. Syracuse. I was in a miserable Irish bar in Syracuse, New York.
You're going to have to come to Wine Fest then this year or next year.
It's already a done deal. I'm not missing it again.
I had so much fun. Towards the end of the show, I seem to remember taking a lot of selfies. Women were coming back into the booth and holding up the bottles and taking selfies. Vinny was laughing. It was a fun time.
We made lots of friends.
You know what? You make so many friends with alcohol.
That's good and bad.
Well, I'm trying to teach my son. He's 10 years old. I'm trying to teach him that, sharing is a great way to make friends. If you have some extra snacks, offer them to people that maybe you don't even know. Just be like,
Well,
hey,
hold. Be careful with that.
what do you mean?
Because now my kid fills his backpack with snacks. I'm feeding the entire Norton Elementary School.
Oh, my son was using his account at school to buy cookies for
Oh,
people.
he was like, "Oh, put it on my tab."
Yes, he was.
They have meal swipes at school now?
So
what?
You don't even, you just walk up and they're like, all right, what do you want? You want a couple extra milk, a
Yes,
couple extra cookies?
yes.
So
That's wild.
our account's tied to a debit card or whatever.
For some reason, last
We were
year,
feeding half the kids in the school.
yes. So for some reason, last year, because we load money onto my two oldest kids' card,
Yeah.
and for some reason, my oldest daughter was pissing through the money twice as fast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, come to find out, she was having a meal plus an ice cream every single time. Now, fast forward a couple years later, now they're having breakfast and lunch, and all of a sudden, $300 that used to last, whatever, 3-4 months, 6 months, is lasting like 2 months. They're just like, it's like a typical college kid with a credit card. Like, oh, yeah, throw it on my account. No problem,
And your daughter's how old?
11.
And she doesn't understand that's not unlimited?
They do now.
I mean, we send my son to school with a lot of snacks, but,
Well, so we would always, the morning routine, you get your bag ready, which includes getting a snack, your bottle of water, make sure your papers are in there. Well, all of a sudden, the Goldfish and the other bars or all the snack stuff we have, all of a sudden they started going quicker and quicker. And we started noticing that the kids were putting 2 or 3 items. And we're like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, well, I bring them into either A, trade with people, or B, if someone doesn't have a snack. I'm like, wait. We're not the food, we're not the soup kitchen here,
I love that my son wants to trade. We're teaching him exchange rates.
Oh, my kid's a master trade and negotiations expert. The two of them are crazy.
So what I have my son do is I get a lot of maple seedlings in my yard. Every spring,
Oh, yeah,
I get
yeah,
maple seedlings in all the garden beds, and I pay 10 cents per maple.
You're
seedling.
paying your kid to pull them.
Paying my kid to pull
Yeah.
out the maple seedlings. He gets 10 cents a piece, and he can get as many as he wants, right? Because I want them all gone. I want them out of
I
the
used to
garden
do this with
beds.
dandelions.
Yeah. Oh, but you got to get the root.
The kids couldn't get the roots.
Yeah,
but-
well, then it doesn't count. So as long as it has, and then he lines them up on the garage floor in factors of 10, piles of 10, and he figures out how much money he needs to make. And then he uses that money to go and buy V-Bucks in Fortnite.
So
So we set up a spreadsheet of how many maple seedlings he has to pull and how much V-Bucks they're worth as compared to US dollars. And it's fun. It's a good exercise.
So, my oldest daughter, love her to death. She's a chip off the old block. She'd start pulling dandelions. She'd start breaking them in two, so it'd count for two. So when you're counting them, you wouldn't realize. So she was doubling her money just by ripping them up. I go, no, that's one. I started figuring it out.
Oh, I do full inspection. It's military style inspection.
Oh yeah,
I count the piles,
This
make
is
sure.
this is a trade. This is customs and trade at the border kind of deal.
Got some Heaven Hill old green labels
Yeah,
going
what's
off.
the story with these? I feel like I see these at the liquor store last week.
Okay, so this is the old bottom shelf Heaven Hill. I think this is bonded, right? Bottled and bond.
Yeah, it looks like it. 6-year-old.
So 6-year-old. Now, what's out now is the 7-year-old bottled and bond. It's one of my favorite $50 bottles. I keep it on the bar, holds up in a
I
cocktail.
thought you liked the other one there for $50. The other Heaven Hill.
Yeah, it's Heaven Hill bottled and bond, 7-year. This is the old style, I think, 6-year.
Oh, this is the same thing as the.
This is 1 year younger than the 7-year bottled and bond, basically.
Gotcha.
Same exact juice. They took it off the market for a year, slid their stocks forward, changed the label, changed the age statement. I was at my
This is
brother's.
the one you brought to the. You bring this. You buy this one everywhere. Well, excuse me. The Heaven Hill, the current Heaven Hill bottle and bond is like your go-to when we're on the road or
Yeah.
at the casino or whatever.
The green label, we were at my brother's bachelor party a couple of months ago, and we actually opened one of these up against the 7-year bottle and bond. Mm-hmm. It's the same stuff.
It's the same stuff.
It's the same stuff, just 1 year different age statement, and I think a different proof.
Gotcha.
But so the old style, it's fun to A/B it. It's still fantastic bourbon, but if you want to buy the 7-year bottle and bond, it's on the shelf everywhere.
Yep.
It flies out fast because it's so good. But both excellent products and fun to have an old style label. Collect something, have something older. Also, some Heaven Hill Select
What is this
Stock.
thing that
This
just
is
sold?
a 9-year straight malt whiskey.
Oh, straight. So, you know what? I forgot to bring in my Indri.
Oh, Indri?
Indri, the Indian.
I thought you said injury.
No.
Yeah.
Indri. So is India still the number one consumer of whiskey? I think they are.
Not sure, but they love their whiskey. Now,
So-
there's a lot of dry states in India.
It's a big country.
Yeah.
There's dry states and dry counties in U.S. too. But Indri, the trick with India, Indri is one of their big producers, is that it's so hot and humid that the stuff ages. So this is a 4-year-old, I think. It tastes like an 10-year-old.
Right. It's like Texas whiskey. Texas whiskey.
Yes.
Single floor rick houses. They just put
Yes.
them in a warehouse and they bake them. in
It's boiled. Yes. So the Indri, so that I could tell it's a really good quality drink. It was not that expensive. It was $60-$70. It's a single malt whiskey. All their stuff is single malt. And
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not a
the
big
Scotch
single malt
tradition,
guy,
yeah.
but I wanted to bring the Indri in. I was going to have you try it and Uncle Bob try it. Uncle Bob's a Scotch guy or single malt guy. If you like single malt, that would probably be a good go-to.
Okay. I like playing around with Scotch right now because the market seems a little soft on Scotch.
It's
And
opportunity.
I can find, 18 and 20 and 23, 25-year Scotches that don't get snatched up like the same way that bourbon does. And it's fun to explore the different flavors, the different regions. I think more people should be looking at that as an alternative, right? If you don't want to pay $2,800 for a bottle of Pappy, why wouldn't you chuck down $1,100 on a 30-year bottle of Balvenie?
So the trick, the only thing I will say to that, like the problem I have is, so it took me a while to discover a whiskey or a Scotch that I like. So like Highland Park 15-year was my first Scotch that I went, oh, that's really good. And then the Irish, you turned me on to the Green Spot and a couple of others, but you don't see tasting events for Scotch.
You
I guess is what I'm getting
used
at.
to a lot more, sure. But bourbon's so hot right now, it doesn't matter.
It's hard to find. It's hard to experiment and find what you like for Scotch, is what I find.
Right, because the best ones are so expensive that you're waiting for someone to open one or share one, and
Right. Well, that and the other thing too is you want to find a basic expression of one. So you want a $60 bottle that you like, and then say, okay, well, I like that, so I'm going to go experiment with their more expensive versions. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll throw a Scotch party or something. You know.
yeah. Well, if we go to Whiskey Fest, it's going to be very expensive for the company because we're going to be bringing Dusties, rare bottles. We're not going to be pouring, Jim Beam White Label for everybody. We're going to be opening up things that people can't find anywhere else.
Right.
And one thing that was fun that we did at Whiskey Fest, and I don't want to tip my hand too much, but we brought some decent stuff. We were pouring Weller 12. We had Blanton's out. We had
Was that Wild Turkey bottle?
we had which Wild Turkey bottle?
The one that was hot at the.
The one that's empty.
Oh,
empty,
the
empty.
Austin Nichols bottle.
Yes.
Yeah, we poured that at the Connecticut Bourbon and Whiskey Enthusiast event, which is coming up again in September. So
We do have the bottle though.
we do have the empty bottle,
If
but
you would like for me to.
sure, go ahead and grab
That's
it.
a
It's
late
right over
'60s
there.
bottle. It was fantastic.
It was 8-year Austin Nichols Wild Turkey. I believe that the bottle that we opened was like Jimmy Russell's first or second year being master distiller there.
Yep.
And we couldn't sell it because the seal was compromised. The tax stamp
That's
and the
right.
seal on the top of the bottle wasn't acceptable to sell per the conditions of our permit. So we gladly accepted it as a donation for science. And when we brought that to the event, it's a medium-sized event, runs in Hamden. I think it was at the VFW there.
Yeah.
Was it
Somebody
maybe-
brought food too. It was good food.
Oh,
Whoever,
the food was great. Yeah, they do a good job.
Who was it that?
Wallingford Rotary,
Rotary,
is
the
the
Rotarians.
benefactor. Yep, and they the Connecticut Bourbon and Whiskey Enthusiasts hold the event, sell the tickets. You get a free Glencairn. That's going to be again this September. I think that they have announced the date. You join the group on Facebook, CTBWE. Here's what we poured. This was Austin Nichols Wild Turkey 8-year 101, and I don't remember if the year was on this bottle. This is pre-64 or pre-68 because federal law forbids sales. So this is
Oh, check the bottom. They used to put in the glass in the bottom of the year back in that day.
it says 27 R575
Yeah, it's-
44. I don't think this is 1944.
No, that's gibberish.
Back there, and I can't remember for the life of me where the hell this came from.
We also poured this one here. This is Dowling Deluxe.
That one, wasn't that one awful?
14
No,
no, this
that
one
one was
was
great. The
amazing.
14 was great.
It's amazing. I think secondary in this bottle when it's sealed and we can sell. We when we got it out of the house, it was
think that-
down to here.
That was a Ken's bottle, I think, wasn't it?
Yep. And that bottle we poured and shared that. I think this is probably $2,000 or $3,000 bottle when it's full and sealed. So we don't save a lot of bottles around here, but these ones were
The
special.
boozy candle lady's gonna love us. We got to hook her up. Hope
Yeah,
her-
she does a great job making candles out of like the George T. Stagg bottles.
So
And
I want to get this would be a great candle bottle because it's a nice flashy label.
do you really need more whiskey stuff though, Tom?
No, I want to get the candle for my wife, so when she starts burning candles, I could be like, "Oh, look, Penelope Havana."
Do you save a little bit of the whiskey to scent the candle?
She does that. I don't know. We gotta reconnect with that lady.
Oh,
Yes, Vinny.
We
customer, commentator. What happens to the bottles that someone doesn't pay for after an auction? Does it go to the next highest bidder or next auction?
rerun.
Great question, but it gets rerun again. So if someone doesn't pay for a bottle, which is really rare,
It's less. So we are really good. We vet all our bidders, and we have a 95, 96. I think GBA is over that. 97% completion rate. So 3%, meaning, so we sell 1,000 bottles, maybe 30, 40 bottles.
and I'd say the most common thing is that someone's credit card is no good.
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
deadbeats.
We run the credit card. We don't hit your credit card automatically. We want to give you the option
Right.
of paying by cash or check and communicating with us. And also, we want to find out if you need shipping. So we wait a couple of days. By the end of the week, if we haven't heard from you, we're going to ring your card. It's on file. We don't have access to it. We
And a
just
lot of
press the
people are
button.
expecting that too, by the way.
And that's fine. But then occasionally somebody you hit the card and it's no bueno, and you're like,
Womp,
all right,
womp.
buddy, what are you doing? You bid on some whiskey and you got no money on your card.
Pay your bill, man.
And we wait a week and we hit it again.
I had a interesting one that we had a customer. I came in on Memorial Day to give him to have a arrange a pickup for him, and he had purchased something in the winter auction. Picked that up, but didn't pick his August stuff up.
Yeah, so let's touch on that, Vinny, so you're not inviting trouble here. Storage.
We store for, what do we get, complimentary 90 days? Or
Well, especially for the wine people. You don't want to be shipping wine in the middle of August.
something? Right.
But please don't abandon your stuff, because if it's left here for a long time and we don't hear from you, we're going to sell it on you.
Oh, I thought we were going to drink it.
Or drink it.
Or
We have, again, the CTF, the gun side is interesting, but we have people that abandon their property. And if it doesn't sell, if it doesn't leave and we don't hear from you after, what's our rule of thumb? I don't know.
It's 90 days complimentary.
The 90
We'll
days
reach out.
compliment. We'll store for 90 days. No problem. Not a problem. But if we go 6 months and we don't hear from you, there's a good chance it's going to go bye-bye.
Well, we'll resell it, and when you finally
Right.
realize it, we'll figure it out.
there's a
Right.
couple that are exactly that case coming up in September.
Yeah,
Things lost to time and space, and people don't care.
Also, maybe you bought it and you want to resell it anyway. Just call us. Just send us an email. Let us know. We'll do it. We're in the J's right now. We're doing the Jack Daniels. Those are closing. We're approaching the halfway mark for today. It's 2:15. So I do want to remind you that at 4 p.m. we are selling wine. So it's a short wine auction today. I think only 80 lots, something like that. But
Short but sweet.
if you are interested in, there's some fantastic Italians, some Californians in there. Make sure you check out the wine auction. It's not in with the bourbon. It's a separate thing, so you can find the link on the front, the homepage for Good Bottle.
It's pinned in the comments, I think, on both YouTube
Okay.
and Facebook.
Nice.
I'm walking someone through right now for notifications here.
Shane from the shipping department is working some OT this weekend. He decided he wanted to come in for a Penelope pour. So go ahead. You can come right
You
around.
like your
and-
sweet?
Yeah, come
You
come
want a
right
sweet
around.
sweet?
Tom will pour you one.
You want some ice cream bourbon?
So coming up is the Jeffersons.
Good.
You might have to
mixing
get
with
might have to
this.
get a cup.
Yeah, over there.
His Havana mixing with my limoncello creation is actually really good.
I could that I could see. That I could see. That would be a true Havana.
So Jefferson's is a brand, another non-distilling producer, or was. I don't know if they produce their own now. I think they do. But back in the early 2000s, when they started releasing the presidential selects, they were sourcing. And they had access to Julian Van Winkle's Stitzel Weller.
Julian's still alive, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
We got to meet that guy.
Yeah, we should have him on the show.
Yeah.
We should have everybody on the show.
Julian, if you're out there,
Yeah. Well, we also have to fly him to Connecticut and put him up at the casino.
we'll get him at the casino.
Yeah.
The casino is our linchpin. That's the only thing we have to offer here is pizza and casinos.
Come to Connecticut. We'll get you some
And
Sally's,
most people in the
some
Midwest want nothing to do with this part of the country.
No, we're a bunch of
I
fast-talking Northerners.
I don't blame them. But go
right.
ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So no, that's fine. So they've used many different whiskeys in the Jefferson's presidential series. I think you see the late 2000s when these start coming out. That's when some Stitzel Weller was still around. I think this is maybe early 2000s. I'm not 100% sure. But this one, the 17-year-old, is Stitzel Weller. It says it on the label.
It does?
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Where?
Right there where it says Stitzel Weller barrels.
I don't think I've ever held one of these. Let me
All
see.
right.
Come to Papa.
So here we go. These are very desirable. Let me just take a look and see what that one is at right now.
Will you take $350 for it?
1,500 and 1,400 respectively. Do not sleep on these. To be able to obtain Stitzel Weller that much, that's revered and highly reviewed.
94 proof. It's a wheat from the fall of 91.
So they also did a lot of rye. They did some Canadian rye.
It says aged in Stitzel Weller barrels.
That's what it says on the label.
But it's Stitzel Weller juice?
It's Stitzel Weller juice.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
Look at the little tin, the little
band around there.
band on it. This was highfalutin. But when did this come out? This one, the bottle's in great shape. The wax is on there. There's a little rubbing on this gold here, but this is cool. I like how they have. I like the design of this bottle here.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
They definitely tried to pump this up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And that, not a lot was made. A lot was drank.
Didn't you tell me that they had asked for those barrels back, and Jefferson said, "Piss off"?
So I heard a rumor from a guy who heard it from a guy who said that some of the other releases are Stitzel Weller. They were accidentally sent to Jefferson's,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't say that it was Stitzelweller, but Jefferson's wouldn't return it.
So you're gonna run right into our buff turkey conversation here in a second.
Right.
You're gonna
It's
segue.
Slightly different.
Well, distillers helping other distillers out.
But people brokered barrels forever, right? So whiskey was put up into barrels. It was made, and sometimes it couldn't be sold, and sometimes people were willing to pay more because they wanted to start a brand. So Jefferson's was a brand that was sourcing from other people.
Well, Penelope was sourcing from MGP, and look at them. They're a powerhouse.
And did MGP buy Penelope?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they said, "Why are we letting you make all the money when we can
Well,
just buy you?"
Penelope. Let's face it. All they did is they took MGP's menu of barrels and said, "All right, here's what we're going to do." They came up with a business strategy. They came up with certain flavors or profiles
They
or
used
whatever.
a very standard bottle.
They use it. They had a standard, pretty bottle, but they had the option for color. So okay, oh yeah, Penelope. We know it's Penelope. Oh, bam, it's Havana. Rio has a green one. They did good business.
Yeah.
And MGP said, "Yeah, we like you. We're going to buy you."
Now there's a loyal following, and most of what they make is very good. They're weeded. They're standard weeded shelfer.
Best $35 bottle on the market, without question.
Yeah. Where can you go to get a drinkable weeded bourbon for
Best
that
35
price?
bucks.
Yeah. It's a little one-sided. You know what I mean? But it's great value.
What do you mean by one-sided?
Well, it's not very complex.
It's $35, buddy.
I know, but what I'm saying, yes, it's great. So just like Heaven Hill 7-year bottle and bond is not super complex. It's just great bourbon.
It's great bourbon. They had their you accused them of having excess regular whiskey because they had that peach old fashioned.
Oh, my wife loved that.
$24.99. It's a mixed drink in a bottle. You pour it over ice. Life is good. They have a good crew there. They know modern marketing. They know that it's just a good business. There's a reason why they got bought out.
So you want to talk about buff turkey, which is not a direct segue.
Hold on. We need a whiteboard now. So you've got distillers who bottle their product and sell it. It's them all the way. Wild Turkey, Maker's Mark, Knob Creek. But then you have things like this here, which was distilled by somebody, or distilled by somebody, and then they threw it into a fancy label.
Yep, non-distilling producer.
Non-distilling producer.
So essentially a marketing company.
Right, a marketing company, which Penelope used to be. So there's obviously success stories there.
Right, but they were a finishing company. They really created a lot of
that's-
variations on a certain amount of distillate.
That's why I'm saying we need a whiteboard now, because you got ones that do it all,
Yeah.
ones that do nothing but sell the stuff, others who do a little bit of both.
Then you have the guys who slap a stupid label on it and take anybody's garbage juice and
Those are your samurai
American,
bottles.
American soldier bourbon. This is
Yeah.
bootlicker bourbird. You should buy this if you're in the military.
Yeah, we give all the money to the veterans, and it's like 40 cents a year or some bullshit. Yeah. Let me go on a rant. When people start talking about donating their profits or their nonprofit or blah blah blah, it doesn't mean as good wholesome as you think. Some are very good, some are garbage, some is all marketing. That's in alcohol, guns, all across. They're using your goodwill as a way of selling their product that may or may not actually be helping whatever group they claim they're helping.
There's a lot of bottom shelf stuff out there with fancy labels, and it's basically just blended off tote whiskey. You know what tote whiskey is?
Yeah, it's like that's the box of wine equivalent of whiskey there.
Imagine a pallet like you see in a warehouse, and
A Gaylord, the big
Gaylord,
poly tanks. Yeah.
So it's a polyethylene tank with a metal cage around it and a giant thing on it.
Goes on a train or
And
trailer.
the bad barrels, the batches that didn't work out, the stuff from the wrong spot in the rick house goes into totes, and in some cases just sits on the runway.
Yeah.
And that's bargain basement stuff. And if you can find
Coy
enough
Hill
of it,
closing 700.
and that's a good bottle.
This was original Coy Hill.
That is amazing.
2021 Coy Hill.
So, and you can't find it anymore. And a lot of people drank it, loved the hell out of that stuff. Seems like anything that comes from Coy Hill at Jack Daniels is magic.
And we can segue into my Coy Hill bottle there, which was also on Reddit again this weekend.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's finish one thought first.
Yeah, so you've kind of given an overview on how
whiteboard.
brands and distillers and all that thing sort of works. Now, because they help each other, because they're all so friendly, when something goes wrong or something doesn't work right at a distiller, they'll ask for help, or they may,
Or they have a huge flood.
in this case, when Buffalo Turkey was changing hands, when Wild Turkey was changing hands from Pernod Ricard to Campari was buying it. They wanted to expand the distillery, and this was in 2009. So the sales going through, and Wild Turkey wants to expand their distillery, so they shut down. They're doing the work. They needed to still produce. So they took their mash bill, 75, 13, 12.
Their recipe.
75 corn, 13 rye, 12% malt. And they distilled it at Buffalo Trace. So
Contract distilling, so to speak.
absolutely. So Buffalo Trace says, sure, we'll make your bourbon here and barrel it and send it back down to Wild Turkey to go into your rick houses.
Right.
Now, it was close, but not Wild Turkey. You couldn't claim that it was distilled at Wild Turkey. They made a lot of barrels, and Wild Turkey made the decision not to put it in their bottles, in their labels. But it was good stuff. And it's about 14 to 16-year-old bourbon that is Wild Turkey mash bill, Wild Turkey recipe. I could not find if it was their yeast. They're very secretive about their yeast. They're very...
Whenever you say yeast, I think of something else.
So
Oh, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Wild Turkey's, hinted at or disclosed their mash bill, but their yeast is special to them. That is one of their secrets. I don't know.
It's
if
like
that's-
hops to beer people. It's the same thing.
No, yeast to beer people.
Well, they'd have different strains of hops.
Well, that
and they
would be your
buy
mash bill.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Beer
you're
and
right.
whiskey start off at the same thing.
Jefferson 17, 7 seconds, $1,500.
Oh, come on, baby.
feel like I should
That's a
buy
good
that.
bottle. Yeah, I know, huh? I want to drink it. It's right here. You could buy it and we'll drink it right now.
Well, someone just scored it for $1,500. So
They decided not to bottle it, not to make it into a Wild Turkey product, and they sold it to non-distilling producers. So other people who have labels that they need good 14 to 16-year-old bourbon for. So far, we have some that are confirmed, but boy, these are brands I've never heard of. There's only one in here that I've heard of, so let's talk about what they are. This is according to bourboneur.com, so Bourbon EUR put a great article out on this. In fact, they have an AI-generated image of a buff turkey. It's actually a turkey with a buffalo head, and he's
I've
jacked.
seen that.
He's got
I've seen
big
that.
muscles. So,
Sounds like a sci-fi movie.
yeah, if you put my
So wait,
screen
wait,
up, you could see
is
it.
it the buffalo the head or the turkey the head?
Buffalo's the head, but he has a turkey tail.
Yeah.
And then he has the buffalo toes, but he's jacked up like a bodybuilder.
Nice.
All right, I'm writing this down because keeping this idea under my hat.
All right. So I gave you the story where it came from. Thanks to Bourboneur for actually putting a great article out about this. Here are some of the bottles that you can find that are buff turkey. Bluegrass Elkwood Reserve.
Some of these I've
15
never
year.
heard of.
Yeah. It doesn't say how much they had. This is like a grain to glass type operation. $322 for a single barrel bottle of this. A lot of these are bottled as single barrels.
But they're 15. They're high age statements.
Yes. Magnolia Illuminati. That one's got a turkey on the front of the bottle. And this one, the Blue Book value is $700 on it, but good luck finding any of these. I'd love to get some of them in here, get them into auction. I'd like to taste it and see exactly what it is, because if it is a little bit Buffalo Trace and a little bit Wild Turkey, it's going to be right up my alley.
So yes, and then so this one should be there too.
All right, so hang on. Let me go through a couple of New Era Sunday Paper, OKI 16 year. So
The OKI Reserve 16 year.
you look at like 500 for secondary on this. Sealbox bottled some of this. So Sealbox is one of my favorite retailers, one of the most legit curated collection. They're out of Washington, D.C. If you're looking for new bottles, stuff that's currently available, everything they sell is curated. They put together some of the best single barrels. I have nothing but good things to say about Sealbox. I've bought from them. I get the Bourbon Pursuit, the Bourbon Pursuit podcast, or Pursuit United Spirits. You can get delivered from them. They make a fantastic blended rye. But the Sealbox Batch 1, the 15 year, it's sold out on the website. Looks like it's trading in the 300-400 range. And then River Roots, Saturday Night, various buff turkey in there. But you think you have a buff turkey right there?
No. So, all right. So I found this at a local retail, and he had a very good price on it. And it's funny, my Spidey bourbon sensors must be developing because I looked at it. I knew it was something good and special, but I had no idea what I was buying.
Okay.
I think I paid $250, which was a fantastic price for it,
Okay.
even if it's not buff turkey. So this is Augusta Distillery Buckner's. Not familiar with the brand.
Single barrel?
Single barrel, 15-year-old cask strength. Like right off the bat, I was like, okay, that's pretty hard to be bad. 128 proof, limited release, blah, blah, blah. So, and you could confirm with Google, but come to find out, some of these, they have a 13, 15, and a 17-year. Actually, our auction had some, I think.
Yeah.
I think we had a 13-year in there. If you look at the label, distilled and aged in Bardstown. Now, this is a Bardstown. So that means it's probably 1792 or Bardstown, one of the Bardstown distilleries.
Sure.
If it says Frankfurt, where's Wild Turkey? Where would Buff Turkey be?
That's what I'm trying to
Frankfurt,
look
I
up
think.
right now.
Pretty
but-
sure it's Bardstown.
No. I think it's Frankfurt is where Wild Turkey is.
Vinny will confirm for us while we're going. Dark Arts apparently has some.
So if it says it's
Buffalo
made
Trace is Frankfurt.
correct, so Buffalo Trace made Wild Turkey's barrels, and then they didn't go into Wild Turkey; they went into this. So if you find a Buckner's with distilled and aged in Frankfurt, i.e., Buffalo Trace, that is a buff turkey. That is Wild Turkey recipe made by Buffalo.
Did it all age at Buffalo Trace's place, or did it age at Wild Turkey?
And
I don't know.
Wild Turkey is Lawrenceburg. Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
Okay.
And then, of course, Augusta Distillery is in Augusta, Kentucky. Not Augusta, Georgia. That's what I thought. But Augusta, Kentucky. Nonetheless, this is worth every penny of $300, $350, even if it's not buff turkey. Because apparently some of these bottles are magical honey barrel rickhouse bottles.
Really?
Some of the batches and barrels are 10s.
But Buckner's 15 isn't all the same juice, is what you're saying? You're saying some of it's buff turkey, some of it's...
Correct. It's all
Okay.
15-year single barrel.
But we don't know which is which, and you might get the right barrel. So you got to do your homework.
It's all in Kentucky. They're all what, within 200 miles of each other?
Yeah, but where it was made and what barrels it went into
I get
also
it.
matter.
My point is, it's a good pour.
How do you know? Have you opened it?
No, the internet told me it was.
You believe everything you read on the internet, Tom?
Pretty much.
Hello, Siri. Is my Buckner...
That explains so much.
Are you opening it now?
No. No. This is for show and tell, not show and drink.
Oh, you're a bourbon...
I'm bringing other stuff.
A poseur.
I had other. What was the other thing that was interesting? Oh, Jefferson's Cask Strength was another hit that I found.
Recently.
So if you could find it, it's usually $100. I found it for $70, and that's the best sub-$100 bottle I've had in a long time. It tastes like $150, $200 all day.
Shane in shipping came in here, got himself some Penelope, and then jumped back on the YouTube chat and told everybody how good it was.
There you go.
That's fun.
Uh,
I
can
like
I
the
also-
interactivity.
Shout out to our friends at Bid Wrangler, who I've been texting with back and forth trying to fix the.
Oh, somebody's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on call. They're on point. They're like, yeah, you started it, you can't undo it. So
Wow.
next time we will not be a silent movie, folks.
Okay. Sorry about that. Not that you can hear us say that, but
Vinny, your yellow shirt is on point.
it's a little blown out over there.
I
on the
was
screen.
thinking how I'm the same color as this wall. I look like a zombie from the old Dawn of the Dead.
Your face, yeah. You should.
We need to
get
get you a subscription at Tanning Salon or something.
No, God just forgot to give me melanin, so it's a lost cause. I go straight to burn.
Tom, you look like you've been outside though. You got yourself a little tan.
Yeah, no, I keep it. Once I get one, I maintain it.
Do you go outside and sit in
Yeah,
the sun? You
well, the
put
kids
on
are always outside and stuff, so
Okay, well, good for you. Must be nice.
I may hit a tanning bed every now and then too.
You Jim Tan Laundry?
Gym tan laundry.
Yeah, isn't that what they said on the Real World or what? Which one
Jersey
was it?
Shore.
Jersey Shore. Jim Tan Laundry.
Hey, we're hitting Little Book World.
Okay, you know what? Little book collectors are kind of like almost in their own zone.
They're-
They're trying to
they
get them
are.
all.
They
you know?
are.
And the first one, I think we have one of the first ones. Batch one, right
Yeah,
there.
we do.
What's it at? 300.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
And the Infinite, which I now have collected 3 bottles of. We're going to be opening one of those.
Beautiful. I heard good things.
It's on my bar in on the conveyor belt, ready to be opened.
So is it the Infinite? What's the idea behind that?
So the Infinite was
These are Beam products.
Jim Beam. Well, it's a Beam product, and then I believe the Infinite. This is a little book, the Infinite.
I'm a really big fan of how you pronounce infinite.
Infinite. Whatever.
By the way, he pronounces it like that, whether he's been drinking or not.
Correct. So they took batches from Freddie No, Fred No, and Booker No. So the three generations.
Yeah.
Blended it all together and made this.
Is it blindly, or did they do this with some science?
I would imagine they did it with some science, but they took some 20-year-old, they took some 17-year-old, some 8-year-old, and made it this. And I scored one the day it came out, and I like Jim Beam products. And I found another one, and now I found a third one, so now I could justify opening one.
All right.
But
what I will say about Beam products is I think they've stepped up their game lately. What they did with the Knob Creeks over the last few years and segmenting those and changing out the age statements and things, there's a very good line between 12-year, 15-year, and 18-year Knob Creek. They're all good. They're all different. I like all of the little books and the Bookers that I've tried. Some people, it's not quite their palate, but there's always something unique. They have a lot of barrels to choose from. They have a lot of product that's aging, and they
They're a
do
big
something
distiller.
interesting with it all the time. I give them a lot of credit for that because the things that they're releasing are good. I recently tried Jim Beam Black. That's a relatively new product since like last year. And I was surprised because I've never liked white label Jim Beam. It just wasn't to my palate. It always sort of tasted like funky and young to me.
Yep.
But that black, I don't think has a lot more age than the white label, and that's a great pour. Great for $29 or something like that.
So you know what's interesting? Again, remember where was it? We had a huge chart or spreadsheet, showed all the distillers, all their products. It was just a total. It was a flow chart, but it was or not a flow chart, but what do they call it? Like you have distiller product, and then some of them overlap.
Okay, well, find that and send it to me because that'd be good for cataloging.
Well, yes, but I had the one I have is probably 15 years old at this point.
Oh, never mind then.
So it's a hot. You'd have to hire someone full time just to keep track of everybody.
Yeah, they get bought and sold like every week.
Right. And give a little more. Hey, Martin Mills coming up 2,500 right now.
Here we go.
So this was one of the first lots to pop real quick as soon as it was published.
Like in a day.
Yep.
Right. And I don't know if people know about it and it's rare or what.
It's a Japanese release. I don't know a lot else about it.
Maybe they were.
Is it Stitzelweller? I'm not sure.
I think so. It's got to be something for 2,500. Oh, Heaven Hill Pre-Fire.
Okay, there you go.
Distilled in 74.
Speaking of Heaven Hill
However,
Pre-Fire,
it was bottled post-fire in February of 99. Many have speculated ultra old barrels in this bottling were somehow altered or affected by the intense temperature of the flames during the 1996 fire, which added to the lore of the bottling, blah, blah, blah.
so we're on the M's, but coming up in the R's is Rittenhouse Rye. We have, I believe, 21, 23, and 25 years. This is the tube that it came in. It's this sort of thin
It's a veneer. It's
balsa
like a
wood tube.
like a wood veneer type thing.
Yeah, but it's thin. They're
like
sort
a
of fragile.
Thin oak.
It almost looks like leather.
It's an interesting packaging. But this is pre-fire Heaven Hill. The Heaven Hill fire was, I believe, 1996, and not a lot of this was ever made or released. So this was a private customer. I think they elected not to take delivery. Only 95 barrels of this that they started bottling at 21 years, 23 years, and 25 years. Now in the thousands of dollars. These are fantastic bottles.
Is it a rye?
It's a rye.
Rittenhouse always makes rye, right?
Rittenhouse, if you walk into a liquor store and buy the straight Rittenhouse rye, it's as good as anybody's.
Really?
It's Heaven Hill. Yes, absolutely as good as anybody's. You know what? Old Overholt, just as good as anybody's. Wild Turkey rye.
Old Overhaul. I was like, eh. It was a 1999 bottle. It tasted like a 1999 bottle.
Yeah, but you got to understand that their ryes are all clean. They're pure. They're delicious. They're good.
Old Overholt needs to update their label. Or Rittenhouse, the current Rittenhouse ones. Sagamore Rye is a good rye I like.
Sagamore Rye is a good rye. I'm not exactly sure the age statements. I think a lot of these are between 4 and 6. But to get your hands on a 25-year-old Heaven Hill pre-fire rye, this is your chance. Buy this and open it and drink it. You're just never going to see it
I
again.
don't think I've ever had a bourbon or rye that was that old.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some 11 years. I still haven't tried Sazerac 18. I know we have some of those coming up in the auction.
Yep.
I absolutely want to try that. And I love Thomas Handy, which is, I think, like a 7 or an 8 year product.
I think 6. Then we talked about this the other day. 6 year
Okay.
or undisclosed.
So the minimum would be 6. There's no age statement on Thomas Handy. But to be able to get your hands on something like this is very rare. I think that these are going to be delicious. They're highly reviewed. They're all over Reddit. I can't remember exactly what year these were released. I'm thinking early 2000s, early to late 2000s.
The Rittenhouse Rye 25 year.
Believe.
Rittenhouse 25 year, yeah. But distilled in 1984. Think about that. Think about what was going on in the whiskey world in 1984, that they took these 95 barrels and finally went, all right, guys, let's put them into bottles. And they were expensive when they came out.
Weren't they, that was the glut. Weren't they vat and stuff?
You can only vat so much. I don't know if these were vatted because you have 3 different age releases.
That was the magic with A.H. Hirsch, is after 16 years, they pulled it and vatted it for a long time, too.
I think there's a couple that might have gone as much as 20 on the Hirsch, but
Rittenhouse, it's got 2005.
that's the first release.
That was 20. That's a 21 year. 23 year doesn't have one, but if they spaced it out, it's probably either 2007 or 2008.
The other thing that
And then
happened with
25
this,
is 2010.
yeah, okay, so 2010 was the last year of release on this, and that's before people went really crazy for bourbon and rye and American whiskeys. But think about that 95 barrels. You're talking only a few thousand bottles that exist of this. So we're lucky to have it. Happy to have it in the auction. Make sure you bid on it. Make sure you get one of these. There's 3 for offer. We may not see it again. So
I don't think we realize just how rare some of the bottles are in our auction.
oh, I realize it.
Well, I mean, we realize it, but we don't appreciate it enough.
I do. I think the buyers do. Look at they're paying for them.
Mm-hmm.
When I see 38 Colonel Taylors and then I see 3 Rittenhouse, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there is a difference here.
There's some Colonel Taylors that are very, very rare as well. And I've never had a Taylor that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Never had one. I'll drink the small batch, drink the rye, I'll drink the barrel proof.
At the Blantons, we had quite a few of those this time, though.
Bland's? Sure. I love Bland's.
Yeah.
Drink Bland's anytime. Just people go a little bonkers for it. That's the problem.
It's like a buzzword. Blanton's Gold was great when I had it, and then the one I'm excited to try is the straight from the barrel.
You haven't had
store
it yet?
pick. I had a store pick straight from the barrel. I got sitting on the bar waiting for.
Oh, I think you got one for me too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I got a gold from my friend Arun over at Liquor World in Cromwell. Shout out to Liquor World in Cromwell. It's a fantastic spot. There's always something on the shelf there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're cruising through there, that should be on your route, should be on your list to check them out. Nice people. He actually asked him to come on the show. He's got a cool story, interesting guy, but he was traveling this weekend. All right, so we talked about buff turkey. We talked about the Rittenhouse rye. What else do we have to go over? What lot number are we on, Tom?
407.
So we've crossed the halfway mark. I don't know if we're going all the way to the end of the auction today. We'll run the podcast as long as we want, but
Yeah, we could.
run out of stuff to drink and stuff to talk about. You know, we
We
can
just pass out. Oh, it would be too much.
get a little silly.
The Coy Hill JD bottles, Coy Hill Rickhouse too was the other one that was.
Oh, you know what? Why don't you talk about that one?
That we could pop that open. Let's do that. So we have. Actually, I might have before we start. I might run and get that Costco pick of all things. That's fantastic.
Okay.
And then we could AB them with this one.
I'm sure Vinny and I can carry the show if you got to go and get another bottle out of your office.
Yeah. But explain the whole. So the.
You're going to have to explain it, but why don't you get the other one first?
All right. So the Jack Daniels is. I'm glad Jack Daniels is getting some buzz because I always love them and their brand. But I'll be right back.
Regular Jack 7. You know, when you first start
Meh.
when you first start drinking whiskey and you go to a country bar and you get yourself a shot of Jack and a beer, it's just fine. It's kind of like that. What's that Buffalo Trace whiskey that came out from the Traveler's whiskey? So they put out the Traveler's whiskey. One of the country singers, maybe Chris Stapleton, endorsed that, and they put it out. It's a $29.99 bottle of whiskey. It's blended, maybe some Canadian that's blended in there. And the whiskey snobs went absolutely bonkers for it. They over it, not for it, but over
Chris
it.
Stapleton, yep, that's
Yeah.
him.
So they
Oh, that is the most Jack Daniels man I've ever seen in my life. Oh, Buffalo Trace, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
yeah, it's a Sazerac product, right? Traveler's whiskey. It is meant to be a country bar, shot in a beer kind of whiskey. It is inoffensive. It's relatively one-sided. It's not something that you're going to sit down with all of your whiskey friends and sniff and roll around in your mouth and tell everybody how amazing and complex it is. It's not. But it's ultimately drinkable, right? There's nothing wrong with Traveler's whiskey.
I'm so excited.
You're so excited. Why?
Because the Costco pick is a Rickhouse 13, which is the one I wanted.
Okay. So we had in Connecticut, this was last fall, I think.
So
There was a big Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye drop everywhere at once.
there was barrel picks all over the place, and then most of the other people in the industry kind of hate Costco because they're liquor whores.
Well, you know what? They're trying to sell a product below the competition all the time.
Which they can't even do in Connecticut because of minimum bottle pricing.
But they still somehow have the lowest prices on some of these things.
Some of the liquor store owners get pissed that Costco gets offered allocated barrel pick, also allocated bottles.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Blanton's at Costco. I've seen
Wild Turkey Voyage.
Eagle Rare store picks.
So anyway, this was sitting there for a couple weeks, and
Show them the hang tag on that.
members only. Where's the members only jackets? So I always liked the JD single barrel proof ryes. I always liked the ryes. I like Jack Daniel's ryes. Okay, so I went to Costco a couple times for groceries and whatnot. You know, hunting allocated bottles. I saw this sitting there. They had the barrel. They raffled the barrel off. Unfortunately, I didn't get that.
The empty barrel.
I didn't buy it at first, and then I looked at it and go, "Holy hell! 138 proof."
It's near hazmat. It
You
is
know-
hot.
The Coy Hills are also usually very hot.
Yeah.
This barrel sat next to, according to the science, the internet science, this is a Coy Hill.
Really?
The Coy Hill, as we know it, the one that just sold for stupid money.
Isn't the whole deal with Coy Hill that it's up on the hill and it gets good
Correct.
breeze and that's why it makes such
Correct.
good whiskey?
This is probably a Coy Hill barrel that didn't make the Coy Hill bottle.
Really?
And that's why I love this stuff.
And
This-
it went to Costco.
And it went well, the Costco picked the barrel. They sent them samples. They picked that barrel. Or knowing Costco, they probably just, give me that one, and that one. So each Costco, so you know, because there's like 6 Costcos in the store, in the state. This barrel was only for the Waterbury, and I think it was only the Waterbury
Only
store.
Waterbury?
Each Costco had its own barrel pick. Somebody on the internet disclosed, and I would love to talk to somebody from Jack Daniels, but I think I believe this one.
I think they pick up the phone, you know.
We could call him. Hey, Vinny, get him on the line.
Get him on the horn right now.
So, Rick House, can't get the focus in there. So, Rick House, they actually put the barrel house or Rick House 1-13. So, the rumor is 9, 10, 11, and 13. No, 6, whatever it is. 9, 10, 11, and 13 are Coy Hill. Now, obviously, the Coy Hill, the red label Coy Hills are curated and picked and probably a little bit older and picked from a certain rack. But these are in Coy Hill Rick House.
Okay.
The magic with a lot of these is the high proof. So I grabbed, this is a number 9, I grabbed just yesterday for $70.
So according to Reddit, Coy Hill houses are 108,
Okay.
109,
Yeah.
110, 111, and 1-13.
12 doesn't exist. It burned down or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Is there ever not a fire at any of these places?
You're in the Midwest with alcohol and
High winds.
high winds and tornadoes and other crap. So,
If you are a distiller that has not burned down in your history, let us know.
They'll be in Connecticut. They'll be in Maine.
yeah. So I picked up this, armed with this new knowledge from Reddit, I picked up a 9. Oh, cool, Coy Hill. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute. I got that Costco store pick that we all love. The whole office loves it.
Mine's open on the
We
bar.
bought
at home.
cases. Everybody at the office, I called, I said, hey, I'm getting the stuff. Everybody bought a bottle. Everybody loves it. This is Rick House 13. This barrel sat next to a Coy Hill barrel.
Right. And just, well, maybe it could have been a Coy Hill barrel and they just hooked Costco up.
Right.
So what do you, honestly, everybody's tried this. Everybody loves it.
Yes.
So we calling this poor man's Coy Hill?
Yes.
Okay, because we just sold a bottle for how much?
A real Coy Hill, well, first year real Coy Hill was $700.
$700. And then we sold like a current,
normal-
we
I
sold a
haven't
current
tried
one
it.
for like 200, right?
No, 450, 400.
Oh, okay.
I hope it sell for 200. I'd buy it for 200.
Okay.
I haven't tried it. I'm on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall. I'm stuck with the creme de banane.
Yeah.
Vinny,
The
this
Vicks
stuff,
Vapor Rub.
this is not your palate, buddy. This is hot rye.
So this stuff is
That's fine.
fire.
I'm good.
Well, give me some fire, buddy.
So now, if our guys are listening, I think Sean bought a bottle. I think Tyler.
Tyler bought a bottle.
I want to buy your bottle back. So the other thing that's cool is 13 is also my number. So this is Rick House 13.
You know, I went to the casino and I played roulette the other day, and I played 13 for you.
Hit.
It was the only number that hit for me all night.
Oh, love you.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you too.
I'll play this one for Mom. I'll play this one for my wife. I'll play this one for Tom.
I used to hate when my dad did scratch offs because he would
hot.
he'd hit the scratch offs, be like, oh, 14, that's Uncle Ralph's birthday. 27, that's so and so's birthday. That's when we got married. Blah blah blah, like that. I don't give a shit what those numbers are. Do they match the number that says winning?
I mean, every number means something to somebody, so
Right. There's always,
Hezzy, we'd offer you some of this, but I don't think you want this.
this is firewater here, baby.
It smells like firewater.
Well,
we've got our
I don't
sake,
smell the
we're
alcohol, but
good.
I smell the deep caramel. It smells fantastic.
This is rye.
This is a rye, but it's
It's a rye that's nosing a little bit like a bourbon.
yes.
It's just the flavors are concentrated. It's very strong.
Oh, it's good. It's hot, but it's good.
Oh, that's hot on the tongue.
That's hot.
yeah, you
That's
need
fire
those
water, baby.
sinuses anyway.
It's amongst the best Jack anything I've ever had.
These when we first started, forget who and what and where, but a green and gold label from Jack, they were selling on a secondary for 150, $200.
Right. We paid what, $70 for these?
$69.99.
Yep.
And then I found this in a random liquor store. This is supposed to be a Coy Hill. Color is spot on.
Yep.
$69.99. They're fine. Now I bet you in certain parts of the country you cannot find these still.
Sure. It's funny that it's been plentiful in Connecticut.
Connecticut, the research I did, Connecticut and the Northeast, they're beer drinkers. So we will have stuff like this available to us that will not sit on a shelf in the Midwest.
I got to tell you, one of the best places that I find whiskey is Massachusetts.
Don't
don't
tell
know.
everybody. Don't tell them my secret, your secret.
Let me tell you,
You're going to have 100 taters going to Massachusetts now.
this is why I got the hat.
Yes.
So I decided to identify myself.
It's Massachusetts is, I love going to Massachusetts just to hunt. That's where I got the PFG.
The Bomberger Precision Fine Grain.
All my top scores, I was up in Leominster.
Lemonster.
Infinite.
Yeah. They had a case. Oh, it had ALW. They had a case of ALW just sitting on the shelf. The other thing that's crazy, it's cheaper than Connecticut.
Yeah, and there's no tax. The tax is built in.
And
So-
because the wholesalers don't set the price in Massachusetts.
I remember going to a little liquor store. I travel out to central New York every once in a while, and I stop right in Lee, Massachusetts, which is on the border just before New York.
Old Granddad Bottle and Bond, $550 for a 1981.
Wow.
And that's not the one with the box either. Here's your grenades coming up too.
Oh, how much are those at? These are the old granddad.
600 a pop.
So those were found languishing in the original case in a Manhattan apartment.
Was this from the other estate company? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And they had a bunch of wines that were no bueno.
Yeah,
And,
the wines. Unfortunately, wine is just so
yeah.
hard to keep.
Well,
And they had these in there, and they thought these were junk. And I'm like, no, that's the best thing you got right there. They're going to bring $500-$600 a piece. What do
Yeah, we
at?
got our law of diminishing return here. 600, 550, 500. Hey, you want a little tip? If you see a whole bunch of the same thing in a row, go to the last one in the series. Everybody seems to forget to bid on it.
Yeah, well, the market's satisfied on the first couple, right?
well, if
Let's
there's
see what
sore
happens.
losers from the first two, they have, like I said, they have the
Nope,
the last
someone
two.
just did exactly what I said. The last one is now the same price as the other two.
Wow, live,
There you go.
live on air.
Yep. So now the second to last one is the only one that's stuck at 550.
Well, you got your last chance at it at 550 here. Somebody hit
That
it.
sold, gone. Forget it. You're done. Too late. Hey guys, I know you'll have bidding live. Start bidding earlier.
You know,
I know the live part's the fun part. That's the the
I am
chase,
so
but-
guilty of this. So I watch a lot of different categories.
we need a bigger desk here.
Yeah,
Well,
you've
we
got
can
a
get
lot
rid of that
bottles.
forever.
So
Throw it back in the creek where it belongs.
I buy a lot of like art and antiques and, a bit on guns and watches and all sorts of stuff. And especially if it's local and I can go pick it up. And if the auction goes off during the day and I'm here at work and I have the screens up in my office, I'll bid on something. I'll be like, oh, I like that. I like that for $400 or $500. And then what ends up happening is
I'm bidding on this desiccated monkey paw, Vinny. Look.
I actually did bid on a desiccated monkey paw and it went for like, what, $3,000.
And did you
was
win
this
it
like-
for that? Or?
Was this like an Indiana Jones type relic thing?
Yes, it was a mummified monkey paw in a Victorian shadow box.
Was it good luck or bad luck?
I'm sure it was cursed.
I was
Well,
gonna
let me
say,
tell you the story of the monkey paw.
isn't
Just
there
don't.
isn't there like a what was that horror series when we were kids? There, Goosebumps. Isn't there like a Goosebump book on a monkey paw?
There
or
was a
something?
Simpsons episode where every time
Yes.
you took a wish,
It's an
the
old
monkey-
short story. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I really wanted it. I wanted to hang it in my house, and no, Vinny's shaking his head. No.
Both Ez and I,
Hey, I got that curio cabinet. I got to put stuff in. Bring it in.
both very different spiritual ends of the spectrum, are both going, no.
You two were hilarious this week. So we came in Friday morning, and
Old Rip up at bat.
here we go.
FYI,
We came in Friday morning, and somehow some flies had hatched in like the front.
Oh, Jesus.
it's fly
vestibule.
It's fly season.
It's fly season, but these were a lot. There was like 100 flies in there.
Here,
Yeah, in the front
Well,
front entryway.
poor Mary Ellen. She got the worst of
She
it.
sits at the desk out there.
there's one. Yeah, go ahead.
So everybody starts freaking out. They're like, "Oh my god, this is evil." Ezzy comes in and she goes, "Do you want me to sage the building?"
My immediate was, is this the Amityville horror? What's going on?
But as you got to meet my wife. You two would get along really well. She does the feng shui, sage, candle, holy water thing. So
Yeah, I don't do the holy water, but I do have sage.
There's so much to be said for that, for just cleansing the energies.
it's called Lysol spray.
You guys are going to trigger the sprinkler system in this building. You are not
that's
saging
so
the
expensive.
building.
I
Please
said
don't.
I will sage the outside. I said nothing about the inside.
Well, you should sage Tom's office at least.
The flies are coming from inside, though. Anyway, listen, one of my best friends is in pest control. Flies hatch. They don't have anything to eat. They die. It just sucks for a couple of days. Moving on. It's a cleanliness issue. What's in the garbage can?
Rip
Moving
15-year squats are coming up, and they're hot.
There we go, baby. 2,700. Look at where are you going to find those ever again? You're not. Absolutely beautiful 15-year. So that's not Pappy. That's Rip Van Winkle. 15-year in a squat bottle.
Oh, and then the 23-year-olds are right up. That we got 14,000 and 13,000 for the 23-year-olds.
Oh, I'm
baby.
waiting to see the Duke out on that.
They're right where they belong. Let's see if
In the last few seconds.
we got 40 seconds here, baby.
A lot more of these have come to market in the last few years. It's strange to see that they're coming up.
So the key thing I think with these is because it was a high-end gift product, nobody drank it.
Right. It's kind of like a fancy gun that was presented to somebody. They never shoot it.
It is awful nice to look at.
Oh, it's
I can
a thing of
confirm.
beauty.
I'm vetting bidders here, and I get excited when I see Gates and fancy.
Well, that other one just shot up to 14. 468 is 14
Yeah.
now.
There you go.
14,000 on
Closing in
468.
6 seconds.
Yeah, here we go. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Oh, 15.
15.
15.
Oh, extended it.
I told you.
The next one, there's one. This is crazy. All right, gentlemen.
The other one's at 14.
You ask about why one for the other. One has the outer box.
The shipping box.
Oh
the
my
shipping
God. You think
box.
that's worth $1,000?
2,000.
Hit it again. They extended it by a minute bidding. They put that bid in at the last
Is
second.
it extended a minute or a
four
third?
they're both at 15.
469 went to 15.
Do you think it's the same person? You think somebody's going to bunker one and drink one?
I can't tell.
I'll
from
tell you
the
in a minute.
screen.
Hold on.
No, don't look. Don't curse it.
Oh, it's two people duking it out.
Okay. Well, I hope they get it. Maybe one gets one
I
gets
just
the
hope
other.
both teams have fun.
That's how Vinny watches the Super Bowl. 15 seconds left on the first one. It's at 15,000.
That shipping box is in pretty good shape. I'm just throwing it out there.
Let's see what happens.
Viddy. Your salesmanship skills are funny.
There we go. Closed at
Lacking.
15,000. Congratulations, guys. We just sold our first $15,000 bottle of whiskey. That is beautiful. And we're about to sell our second one. Now watch this one go up an extra 1,000.
Well, that's the thing. Is how bad does the other guy want it?
This one's great even without the shipping box.
Thanks, Vinny.
Well, I don't know which one's which. Don't sell it like that because I don't know which one's which. Might have
That
been the
was
first
beautiful.
one. This is the first time.
$30,000 in 2 lots of whiskey. That's amazing.
Brown
Enjoy
water,
it.
baby.
Enjoy it.
All right, so we drank the Costco version. It's giving me a frog in my throat.
It's clean. It's
And,
cleaning all the bacteria out.
Those
Sure.
cough buttons do work, though.
Yeah, they work great, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to try the other one, or you're not going to open it? I mean, why do you have to? We already tried basically the same product.
No, we'll save that for another day.
All right.
I don't think it's going to be hard to. All right, I'm putting it all points bulletin out here. If anybody can find another Barrel House 1-13, I'd be interested. I have a feeling that's where they're pulling the Coy Hill bottles out of.
Well,
I think this was
can
a
we
rare
look
catch.
at the label from the Coy Hill bottle we had in the auction?
Yeah, Vinny, you want to go grab it?
You can either grab the bottle, or I'm sure you noted it in the listing, right?
Oh yeah. Go to the listing.
The sold listing of the Coy Hill bottle that we just that just closed
Give me
today.
a number.
I don't have the number. You have to go back and look at the.
Search.
Commentator
just asked, do y'all ship? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. To states where it's legal.
We ship to you. You're expected to have any permits or anything you need to have, whatever that means to you, and we will ship wherever we can. Okay, we only had one Coy Hill. I thought we had more than that, but let's. This is a 2021. This is what Vinny or Shane wrote here, or Razzie, I don't know who, aged up in the quote unquote buzzard's roost of our barrel houses. So this is high up on the Coy Hill, bottled, uncut, at higher proofs. Barrel House 13.
Same as our Costco bottle.
Barrel number 21. So 21, and that was 21. So I'm trying to figure out the age, but it doesn't say. It doesn't. You can't decipher it. Okay, so it's a 9-year-old. Barrel entry 2012, bottling date 21. 143 proof. Oof. Holy hell!
Wow. I'm feeling just that half ounce you gave me.
But this, like I said, this barrel sat next to that barrel at some point.
Yeah, they were neighbors.
Yeah. So
Whiskey Bros.
Do you want me to grab it? What number was it?
332.
Right back.
Do we need to see it?
We don't need. You know what?
No?
Don't worry about it, Vinny, because you got such beautiful pictures here from Kurt. Oh, this is interesting. Barrel House, and there's check boxes, 13 and 8. Oh, they actually divulged a little bit here. They actually wrote that on the bottle. Aged up in the buzzard's roost of our barrel houses on Coy Hill and bottled uncut at higher proofs. And I think this was the first year they did it, 2021. Does that sound right?
I could look.
That's why this one went for 700. This one is 143 proof, but they had 2 check boxes on this label. Barrel House, and then it says number 8, number 13. Interesting.
We got what? 9, 10, 11, 13.
8, 9, 10, 11, 13. 12 doesn't exist. I think it was a tornado, actually, or some other thing.
Was a hell portal open beneath it?
Yeah.
Is the Buzzard's Roost like the top floor?
It's the top of Coy Hill, and Coy Hill's at the top
Okay.
of the distillery.
Some dark whiskey, though.
It gets hot and sweaty up there, I think is what they're trying to say.
Okay.
I'm reading the back of the Coy Hill. Special release series highlights our innovation of whiskey making here at the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I would call this poor man's Coy Hill.
It's delicious.
No, wait a minute. Is Coy Hill a whiskey or is it a bourbon or rye? It's Tennessee. They call it a whiskey.
Okay, so they have rye and Tennessee whiskey in the same rickhouse?
I guess so.
Okay.
Now, our wine auction just started, too.
Should be starting at 4, not 3.
I got lots start to close in 15 minutes, 17 minutes ago. So maybe that's
Maybe I sent it a little too early.
Mm-hmm.
Are we not set to Eastern time, maybe?
Let me see.
I could have sworn that the wine goes off at 4 o'clock.
That's what I thought so, too.
Maybe we had the wrong time on it. Oh, no, we're human.
4 p.m.
Whatever, bid, buy stuff.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so the notification just went off early.
It went off early. Sorry.
Maybe the notification sent to Eastern Standard and we're on
Yeah.
Eastern whatever.
You're still safe. Wine folks, you're still safe.
It's okay. You got time. What lot number are we on here in real time for the whiskey auction? We're doing some Pappies right now. $4.93 is the lot.
People are already paying for their stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it makes it so efficient. We're doing the 20 years right now, and we're at $4.93, close $2,200. Let's see here. We got another one going off 2,000, 2,200, 2,000. And then we get into the 23 years and 3,500, 3,750. You got one in here at $5,000.
Yeah, the wine auction says it ends in an hour for me.
Okay, well,
I think it's a time zone email mishap.
no problem. I can assure you I wasn't drinking this morning when I scheduled that. I just may not have been awake yet.
What do we got here? 496, Pappy Van Winkle. Hey, let's talk about that. The whole Stitzelweller switch over from BTAC.
About 2008.
Right, but if they had leftover barrels, transferred them over, so certain ages, certain years, certain ages. So 20 year in 2008 was still Stitzelweller, even though it's a clear glass.
They want the gold wax, and that's what's at 3,500, 3,750.
Right. So this 08 clear glass foil was the very end and slightly less desirable than the wax.
Yes, but these 23s that are closing now are all Stitzelwellers that everybody wants.
But it's 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 year. And we're lucky to have so many bottles, to give people a chance to come in and bid on this. I mean,
498 sold for 37.50. 499 is about to sell for $5.
Awesome.
Bottle in Frankfurt. Blah blah blah.
The money's there for the good whiskey. Think about that when you want to sell something.
Mm-hmm.
Call us up. We'll get it in the auction. Then we're going to kick over to Parker's Heritage. This is something that Heaven Hill does that I love. You know what? If I can get my hands on these, I'm so excited to try them.
You were telling me Parker's Heritage it needs its own flow chart, whiteboard, spreadsheet in itself too.
Parker's Heritage is whatever they decide to bottle that year. So maybe they find a section of barrels that's unique.
Are they a non-distilling bottling company?
No.
too?
Parker's Heritage is a Heaven Hill sub-brand. It's a brand within Heaven Hill. The fly's in here now, isn't it, Vin?
No, I'm just like following.
We gotta get one of
mentally
the
in my
rackets
brain.
from the dollar store, the electric rackets. I'll
I
bring
got
that one
one
in
somewhere.
tomorrow.
Where's the pea shooter that they got?
Oh, yeah, the salt gun. So
That stuff's great.
Parker's Heritage is basically how they market their experimental stuff. So maybe they left some rye in for an extra 10 years or 5 years. Maybe they did a single malt. Maybe they did a bourbon. Here's a 27-year Parker's Heritage. This is the second year they did a 27-year straight bourbon.
Must look like maple syrup in the bottle.
It's at 1800, so you know it's good. First,
You know what was delicious? That literal maple syrup booze from Friday.
oh God, we opened a maple syrup cordial and it was disgusting.
Good God.
We know
Have
it's
some
been-
Havana instead.
I did.
I'm glad that we all have different palates. The most interesting thing about Tom's palate, though, is he thinks his palate is America's palate.
I think I have a popular flavor palette, yes.
I disagree.
I like everything that everybody else likes.
I like the trash.
You're a trash panda.
I'm a trash.
You're a garbage hound.
We know that.
Well, you drink Mountain Dew like it's water. So
Soda, movies, liquor.
Yeah,
Anything else?
you really do have a penchant for the.
I love the unloved. What can I say?
Okay. So do you like pick up stray cats and stuff?
No.
he'll be eating the cat food though, 'cause it's garbage. You know?
You don't have trash taste in food, though. Oh, do you? What's a crappy food that you like?
Looks like a Taco
I
Bell
mean,
guy to
I'm
me.
sure Shane would chime in right now. He'd be like, well, it's Wednesday. Vinny's getting his Dominoes.
Oh God!
Oh,
You live
no.
in the pizza capital of the world, and you're buying Domino's.
I can order it ahead of time via the app. And then it's just
You
ready.
could get Pepe's in Waterbury.
I know. I've been switching over to Barb's. They opened a
Barb's?
in Factory Square.
Barb's used to be good. I haven't tried it in a
Barb's?
long time. Barb's
It's good.
Pizza. It's a West
Very good.
Hartford brand. Yeah.
Like Barb, like
I thought she
old
was in
lady
Cheshire.
Barb.
Barb. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's her name.
God bless.
Barb's. Yeah. No, that's good. So I do get real pizza, but I enjoy some trash pizza. like
My
some
wife
school
does too. My
cafeteria
wife does too.
pizza.
My wife likes it's either Pizza Hut or Domino's, and I'm like, what are you doing?
What?
There's
Listen,
something comforting about it. No,
It's college comfort food, is what
Yeah.
that is.
you know what I had yesterday that was actually really good? It's the Costco pizza. Costco pizza is like the highest of all trash pizza. Imagine Domino's, but slightly better. And that's the Costco pizza.
all right. Now Domino's has a cheese stuffed crust these days, so
The Costco pizza,
Counterpoint.
large pizza, $9.99, pepperoni or not. Think about that for a second. It's a $10 pizza.
we can't afford not to.
Right. And their hot dog is still $1.50. And you get a soda with it. And
Did
it's a
they-
banging hot dog.
Discontinue their churros though.
They dropped the churros.
Oh, what the hell's the?
Oh, look
They
at this.
dropped the churros because social media influencer leaked the secret recipe because they made him mad.
Oh, don't cross social media.
You're gotta be kidding me. The influencers at Costco are the funniest thing. I feel like we're coming to the end of the world because Costco has influencers.
They have $1.50 hot dogs, and people line up. You are literally killing a half hour of your life to get a $1.50 hot dog.
People buy Costco memberships just to eat at the cafeteria.
You don't need one.
Really?
If you sneak past the door guard, you
Well,
can
you
go
gotta
right up and
sneak.
order the hot dog. You don't have to scan your card for it.
Right now, you actually do need a membership because they have the digital card readers, and everybody.
No, go to the customer service desk. Go
they
in the
still
other
check-
door.
They still make you.
At the food
They
desk.
still make you swipe.
We used to have a landlord. I don't want to call him cheap, but he definitely wouldn't let go of $1. And he and his brother would go to Costco and sneak past the guard for $1.50 hot dogs and then walk around the store and not buy anything. That was their Wednesday dinner.
Well, then you hit the demo carts.
You remember IKEA in New Haven? They have a full kitchen with, I don't know, real food. It's good
It's a
food.
cafeteria.
Yeah,
It's a full-blown
cafeteria.
They- if you go on there on a Wednesday, they let all the homeless in there and they just eat.
That's awesome. Good for
Yes.
them.
No,
Who says people aren't doing nice things?
it's good food actually.
I've eaten there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, early on when it was a novelty, but I can't see myself buying a IKEA thing.
I can't buy furniture.
I
from
actually
anywhere.
have
It's just
some
too,
things in my shopping cart for when I move. So
I've graduated and become an adult from IKEA stuff. we still have IKEA
What,
furniture.
you're insulting Vinny over
I
here.
find some weird
No.
satisfaction. I'm like channeling
Enjoy.
my woodworker grandfather, like, you know,
But what putting together the
putting
IKEA
together this
furniture?
balsa wood. Yes, exactly right. It's this particle board.
Not the same, Vinny. Not the same.
Your poor
art- it's
grandfather actually
artisanship.
did something. You
He's rolling
have-
over in his grave and
you have
laughing.
picture instruction manuals.
But you know, I have a lot of his stuff too, which is nice. Like it has survived the test of time. Whereas, well, my IKEA, we will see. But
Oddly, I don't know how or why, but that shit holds up.
Oh, here comes the Rittenhouse rise.
So Rare Character presents sold, and then the Penelope F Cancer bottle just sold for $250, which was a lot.
Nice.
Thought that was interesting. Redemption 10-year ride. This is one I'd like to try. Just sold for $90. It's about right. Screaming Titan. Here you go. You like that stuff.
Redwood Screaming Titan. Don't sleep on that bottle. It's spicy. It's delicious. It's very good.
I feel like Redwood hasn't popped yet in most of the country.
For some reason, there's a direct line from California to Connecticut, and we get Redwood Empire everywhere.
It's the
I didn't-
liberal corners of the country kind of thing. Connecticut apparently is also an easier state to get your alcohol into too.
What do you mean by easier? Is it because we have package stores?
Yeah, or something.
We have 167, 168 municipalities in the state of Connecticut, and there's something like between 3 and 15 liquor stores in each one.
Yeah.
So I think we have 2,000 package stores in Connecticut.
For people listening, a package store or a packy is a liquor store. Because if you go outside the Northeast, nobody has any effing clue what you're talking
Go to
about.
the packy.
What do you buy at a package store? Boxes?
No, package store is the liquor store.
What I'm saying is most of the country thinks we're crazy.
In a lot of places, beer and liquor are separate, whereas
Correct.
in Connecticut, they're together.
Well, if you have a liquor store, you can sell everything.
Right.
The problem is in New York, they have two stores right next to each other. One's liquor and wine, the other one's beer.
In Ohio, the liquor store is inside the grocery store, but it's a separate store.
Right.
interesting. That's kind of how they treat it at Costco.
In Maine,
Not
Beer.
as bad as that.
But it's fun, yeah. In like New Hampshire and Maine, you can walk to a Walgreens and the section is
but also
Or you go to Vermont and get beer at the gas station.
same in Maine, yeah. But Massachusetts,
They sell everything.
they sell everything. Yeah.
Massachusetts, Connecticut, about the same.
America is a fascinating place.
Well, the alcohol laws are fascinating.
Well, America, it's funny you should say that, Vinny, because like people come here to Connecticut. They're in America,
America.
and they're just like, I want to buy guns. We're like, well, no, you're in Connecticut. It doesn't work like that. Well, what do you mean? This is America. I go,
Well,
it's
yes.
Connecticut.
It's not Texas, America. Though.
right. Well, then they go to Texas and they're like,
Where they just hand them out at the toll gates.
I want an abortion. They're like, no, they don't do abortions in Texas. You have to go to Connecticut. You know, so it's like,
But yet we can move freely amongst all those states. You can drive all over the country and nobody stops you. Unless
hands made tail type.
you had too much alcohol. What are we? We're approaching the Russell's Reserve 15. Both bottles at 500.
Rock Hill Farms going off now. What's this Rough Rider straight bourbon whiskey? That's an interesting little bottle. Oh, Russell's 15. Hey, Ryan, you want to buy a couple to replace that one you had? It's going to cost you over $500 to do it.
How much do you want for a bottle of Russell's 15?
We should, it's not for sale. We should
All right, well, TikTok because
take
it's closing.
bets. What year or how long it will take for Russell's 15, because we were in that was our first year of business, was Russell 15. That was the bottle of the year kind of thing. Till that bottle sells regularly for $1,000.
Here's the thing about that bottle.
Investor.
I have one bunkered. I've drank it. I've not decided what I'm doing with the bottle I have now.
You're not going to find another one in the
But
liquor
if you
store.
offered me $1,000 for it right now, I would say no.
Me too. I don't need the money. I can't get another bottle.
Yeah.
But we see them on the illegal secondary for $500, $600, $700 all the time.
We just closed 2 at $500 a piece plus the buyer's premium and the shipping. You figure that's $600 to somebody's door, you know. Actually, it's gonna be like 6 change to somebody's door, and I see it closing at 5.5 on second.
That
Here's a
I,
single
me
Rickhouse
personally will pack and ship.
You're gonna pack and ship.
Ooh, Camp Nelson B just closed 370.
So I was just gonna say, how good is that Camp Nelson? Is it as good as the Russell Reserve 15?
I have one at home at my bar that I have not opened that I paid slightly less than that for, but I bought it at auction. Are we getting the Sazerac 18 years as well? We're doing pretty good. We only got about 200 lots left, exactly 200 lots left right now. And I'd say we've stayed relatively sober and been able to do the whole show at this point.
So this is amazing. I love this. So I look at the bid history. There's bids it's a live auction at this point. So it's bids every minute. I just love the activity. I love it.
I love the person who bid on the how-to tutorial. You're not.
I was gonna do that.
I can't ship that to you, my friend.
You got to hit the credit card and charge her for it, though.
So the first lot in the auction was just a lot that showcased videos that Vinny and I made. And I wrote right in the description, please, for God's sakes, don't bid on this lot. We can't
People are
deliver it
first
to
going to
you.
do it if you do that. You should have made it that lot start bid at like $1 million or something.
Oh, I didn't think about doing that.
Hell yeah.
You know what we could do on it next time is buy the crew a round of drinks. So if you bid on that, you're basically tipping the shipping crew and getting them a bottle or a round.
Okay.
You know what? We can put lots like that in the auction.
Or just put that lot, donate it to a different source. I had a thought driving in.
Okay.
We should set up a nonprofit or some kind of donation for like liver care, liver cirrhosis prevention or something.
That's a thought. What if we just did it where you could supplement Vinny's Mountain Dew budget?
Oh, you would need a lot more than that, baby.
If he just stopped drinking Mountain Dew, he could afford a three-bedroom house. But
You damn millennials and your avocado toast.
Is that what's holding you back?
I guess it's my Mountain Dew addiction.
And your Dominoes.
Avocado Dominoes.
Sazerac 18 is selling a little low, I think.
Yeah, come on, guys. Buy some
But
Sazerac 18.
Consistently.
I don't
Sure.
know why. And now 24 was a keynote. Maybe these older ones are not as desired.
Interesting.
Wait a minute.
This is your chance to get one if you wanted one. I'll tell you that.
Hold on a second. If it's 18 years old from 2005, that's before BTAC was a thing.
So I think the Sazerac rye was put up by the Buffalo Trace Distillery before it merged with,
Sazerac
Winkle.
proper.
It was already put up, so it was being
Right, because
the
Sazerac,
Sazerac Distillery.
right? Sazerac, the company, owns BTAC. I think Sazerac's
Yes,
the
they're
parent.
the parent company. Yeah,
So Sazerac Distillery, the actual
they own
distillery,
Buffalo Trace. Yes.
right?
But they also own the Blanton's Distillery and the Colonel Taylor. You know what
Right.
I discovered in my research on the A.H. Hirsch? That the distillery is the distillery, but when they're making Blanton's, they they hang a sign outside the distillery and say, "This is now the Colonel Blanton's Distillery today."
Oh, that's cool.
Then they take the sign down and they put it up and they go, "This is the Eagle Rare Distillery
That's cool.
today," or Buffalo Trace or whatever it is. So like that's a long-standing tradition that there's only so many stills. So
Right.
today we're making Colonel E.H. Taylor. This is now the Colonel E.H. Taylor Distillery this week.
That's cool.
And we're going to distill that and put it in barrels and put it in those rick houses.
So I wonder. So they've been doing at the distillery tours. Is this off season for them or is this high season for them?
For Buffalo Trace, it's recover from flood season right now.
Well, so they had Eagle Rare 17 at the distillery gift store.
Really? Well, they just reopened. So they were shut down for a couple of weeks. They cleaned up the floors and they started operations again like this last week. So they were down for a few weeks.
Somebody posted they had Eagle Rare 17 in the
Man.
travel center there.
Well, then maybe they got to bring people back for tours.
Or they just, that's all they had left. I don't
Watch
know.
out for mudslides, everyone. And
Yeah.
not the drinky kind.
Some interesting things about that. They're now, so Buffalo Trace, they got flooded. They had problems. They're taking losses and hits from this flood. And you know what they do? The most beautiful thing in Kentucky, they decide they're going to pour it forward for Kentucky and hold a fundraiser. Here's a company that took a hit, and what did they reply with? You know what we're going to do? We're going to raise money for people who got injured by the flood. Check this out. This just went live 10 days ago, something like that. I'm reading this off of bourboниnsane.com. They have a benefit featuring some of the distillery's most sought-after bourbons, collectible items, once-in-a-lifetime experiences donated by Sazerac and various partners. Check out what's in the auction. So this is Buffalo Trace's Kentucky fundraising auction.
Yeah.
A Sazerac barrel select experience, including the opportunity to pick and purchase a barrel of Blanton's Gold, plus a VIP tour and a one-night stay at the Stag Lodge.
Are these raffle tickets?
This is in the auction. You have to bid on these. You're going to be able to bid on ultra-age individual bottlings such as Weller Millennium. So they're putting Millennium in their benefit auction. Eagle Rare 25. You never see bottles of that. And OFC.
Oh, back up.
Eagle Rare 25.
But not cast strength.
I don't think a cast strength Eagle Rare exists.
Well, remember we talked about this?
Yeah,
That would
we
be the
did.
ultimate.
They're doing a complete Pappy Van Winkle collection, a complete BTAC collection, a complete 2024 Prohibition collection, and the full E.H. Taylor lineup.
Here's the $1 million question. First off, did you see the it was on the Facebook or something. They scroll up and they show you the different levels of the water over the years. They show the flood of 1887, the flood, and then 2025 is like way up there.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, flood's not covered by your standard insurance. So do they have flood insurance?
I don't know.
So they may have to
sure
eat that
hope
on
so.
their own.
Yeah, but
They could be uninsurable.
Their parking lots got flooded. The first floor had some water up,
So
but I
here-
don't think it went super high.
Let me be a critical New England Yankee for a second. Why do you build your buildings on a goddamn riverbed that's falling into the freaking river?
Well, I mean, we've had our fair share of catastrophic floods here, too.
Yes, because if you go to Nantucket, there's properties that are free because they're falling into the ocean.
Sure.
But the other thing is they don't remediate. So you could fix if the land is falling into the river, you could build walls and do stuff. In the Midwest, they don't do anything. Is this part of the lore? Like are they sitting there with a drink and be like, looks like next year she's all done. She's gonna fall in.
Well, this one's going to be an F5 tornado.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so when you arrive at the distillery in the building and you buy it and you do all that, it already exists. You're not going to move it.
No, but do something
It's
to
already
prevent it
there.
from getting worse.
Maybe that water was crucial to the distilling or to generating power.
So
Back
I
in the day,
get-
they built
yes.
that building there
You
because
can only
they
build
needed the
seawalls.
river.
But
so
they're living on their historical laurels so much that they're willing to allow a flood to destroy the business.
Well, you can't move the distillery, Tom. That's where the magic happens.
I get it, but
If you were making
reinforce
widgets,
the
and
walls.
you could make them anywhere.
Reinforce
Don't
those
raise the
river
bridge
walls.
or lower the river.
There you
Right,
go.
right. Dig out the river. I don't know.
All right, here's the other things they're selling. This is at the Buffalo Trace fundraiser for the flood victims.
Really good of them at doing that. That's awesome. The
That is
Midwest,
nice, yes.
the people in the Midwest care. Like the people around here are just so rough and rugged.
Whiskey people care. Kentucky.
You know
Bourbon
what,
people
though?
care.
When push comes to shove, we do get our stuff together.
Yeah, but it's not like the Midwest, man. They
No,
don't-
it's not like we're not like bringing
the
pies to
South,
our neighbors.
right? The
every
South
day.
and the Midwest, they will help you before you even ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Around here, you got to be waving your arms on the side of the highway.
You need the catastrophe here.
Yes.
But
Not
then
up
we-
north. Like where I go up in Maine, you help people.
Yes.
You're out in the woods.
Well,
Yes.
Shane,
Everybody helps
Maine
everybody.
is the Midwest of New England.
It is, actually.
So
It absolutely is. All right, so one bottle of Double Eagle, very rare, so that's the 20-year, plus a handcrafted coffee table created from a former Double Eagle, very rare barrel.
So, say it again.
It's a coffee table made from a
that's
double
cool.
eagle, very rare barrel.
Again, is these raffle prizes?
No, these are auction. You have to bid on them.
I thought he was talking about something in ours. Like, I did not catalog that.
No.
Benny.
You've got a variety of items from Chris and Morgan Stapleton's charitable fund, including an Epiphone studio guitar, exclusive merchandise, an all-expense paid trip for two to Fort Worth, Texas for a behind-the-scenes visit of a 101 studio set, the global entertainment company behind the hit show Yellowstone.
Nice.
You get to go to the Yellowstone set.
With the 4 6s.
There's also a sweepstakes so that you can win the opportunity to purchase one bottle of OSC Vintage 2006. Do you know why they aren't just giving away a bottle of OSC Vintage 2006? Because you can't give away free alcohol. It's against the law.
Give it sell for $1.
Well, you'll win the opportunity to purchase one. This is fantastic. So I'm wondering where they can go to enter all this. It looks like...
Yeah, push this thing. Throw this link up on our website or Facebook. 'Cause this is worthy
it's
of-
blockbar.com/producer Sazerac Port Forward. You know what? I can actually throw this link right into the chat. Let me throw it in there.
Why don't you tag Buffalo Trace and throw it in our Facebook?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get that up this week. But
Hey, this is awesome. Chance, BTAC, blah, blah, blah. And
Help some folks who need it.
yeah.
throwing it in the Facebook chat and the YouTube chat just so people can check it out. Where's the YouTube? That's there.
I'm already going through the 600 emails in my email box here.
Oh, God. I haven't even checked mine.
And I'm out Monday-ish. So good luck, guys. Actually, Ezzy, I think you're on the road with me. FYI.
Since when?
Since now.
No, I'm
baby.
sorry.
No,
So by the way, Tuesday, me and you have an estate pickup.
She's
We do?
training the new shipping guy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
was like,
right. Tuesday,
my
she's with me,
week-
though.
When were you going to tell me this?
Tuesday.
Let's go.
Don't worry, Vinny and I can handle the emails. It's okay.
Surprise.
If you're listening to this and you did buy some things, give us a minute. Like the day after the auction, we're hundreds of emails deep.
So I think so. I will say that our customers are great. I think a lot of it is the folks just want to make sure we got it.
yeah,
Got the email.
right.
We did. We don't accidentally delete stuff. We got it, and we'll get it out. I'm going to tell you shipping. I'm going to tell you shipping is going to be slow. Not stupid slow, but
Couple weeks. It might take you to next week to get
Right.
the bottle moving.
right.
And we don't automatically update the tracking. So if you want the tracking, you got to ask for it. We're sorry, we don't have like a procedure in place for that. We keep it on file, but we don't always send it.
It should send automatic from the carrier, but it's
It should.
It's attached to the invoice, but if we resend the invoice, people get confused and think, like, wait,
Right.
did you not get my payment?
Right.
Yeah, so therein lies the problem.
All right, Tom, what do you got open over there? Some American light
You
whiskey?
want to do the Nulu, or do you want to do ALW?
I'm going to do ALW.
All right.
I don't need
You
any
don't
more
like
of
the
your
ALW. This is
maple
creme
crap.
brulee. Vinny, you might like this. This is sweet too. Creme brulee, all day.
Oh, I wish you told me before I made another limoncello
Yeah.
cocktail over
You
here.
made another one?
Yes, sir.
Are you pouring those things deep or what? Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
American light whiskey. This is the 17-year one?
So this is a 17. So Penelope fan again. So the first time it came out, it was 12 year or 13, something like that. Then it was 15, and then it was 17. Again, MGP juice. I'm guessing Penelope just bought up a rick house of this stuff. The key thing about American light whiskey, no, it's not like a Bud Light where it's a lighter drink. It was using second use charred oak barrels.
So they already had bourbon in them.
So they had charred oak barrels, did a batch, and said, screw it. Throw some more distillate in there, and so on and so forth. So what happened? The first thing that's noticeable is you don't get the deep color,
It is. It does have that creamy dessert.
but
Not as sweet as that other stuff you gave me, that Havana.
yeah. This the magic with this is it's bourbony whiskey, American whiskey-ish, but the magic is it doesn't have that deep charred oak taste. That second charred oak batch has a sweet creme brulee to it. It is quite hot. Oh, boy, we're trying some firewater. This is 139 proof.
I felt it the second I took a sip, but I didn't want to seem
So-
weak over here.
So I will say that the last year's bottle, the 15 year, was 120 something, and I almost like that better than this.
I'm gonna put a little water in that.
This is delicious as ever, but man, is it firewater. I mean, you can't smoke a cigarette near this stuff. But
Classic Cask is closing right now for $1,000 around lot
What is that thing?
$593.
What is that?
I didn't get a chance to look that one up.
God, that looked fancy. I thought you'd be all over that one.
And 13 Colony Cask Strength Double Oaked is hit at $500.
Damn good stuff. Ryan cracked. You know, I owe you a good bottle because we cracked open your Russell 15. We
I don't
cracked
mind
open your
sharing.
Double Oak. I did a Woodford double, and that was good. But I haven't cracked open.
No, we didn't crack a Double Oak 13th Colony, did we?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Did I open
We tried it. Yeah.
Oh, I did
There's
not
a 13th
authorize.
Colony.
I did not authorize the
Well,
opening.
Well, where
of
did
that
I have
bottle.
the Double Oak 13 Colony from? I thought it was from you.
No,
I think there's one floating around somewhere in here.
No,
I have a sealed bottle in my office. I hope it's still sealed.
It may not be, from all indications.
Sounds like you do owe me a bottle.
I owe you.
I don't listen. I like
An-
opening stuff. I don't keep score.
I'll tell you what. Maybe maybe we'll even do it on the show. Do we have time? I'll go get that Prohibition era Seagram's 13 year.
Don't do it now. Save it for another event. We want to record opening that one.
Maybe
and
when
produce it as a
the
video.
Connecticut laws get updated, we'll do that one.
We may be celebrating because Good Bottle may be conducting more auctions.
We may be going to once a month here. I think it's in the hands of the governor.
Oh, I hope so.
So
They're going to get their cut. There's no reason for them not to.
Hey, the state of Connecticut has benefited quite a bit from Good Bottle auctions because we're collecting sales tax on every single
Yep.
sale.
So the way it works for legality people is the sale happens right here in the great state. God, I can't believe I said that. The state of Connecticut.
I don't hate this state. I just
Listen, we're a mess, but it's better than... I'm
As-
not going to offend someone.
I'll say this: as anti-gun and politically left as this state is,
an anti-business.
and anti-business, we love our alcohol here.
Yeah, they didn't fight us on any of that.
If there's anything that brings both sides of the aisle together, it's alcohol in Connecticut. I was like, yeah, let's have some drinks.
Warms the cockles of my heart.
Yes. There's no conservative blue law. They got rid of the last blue law of hunting on Sundays, or they're in the process of that. But we are very liberal drinkers here. Anyway, yeah, we may be going to once a month here. So
Okay.
that would be cause for celebration.
Who's vibrating over there?
People are calling good bottle. Well, no, I'm not vibrating. It's just
Not me.
all works might be. Is it bypassing my mute?
Uh-huh.
That's funny.
So this is interesting to see the point in the auction that we're at.
Kurt's very happy. He's won his lots.
Oh, good. Our photographer is bidding in the auction. You know, if you hear of us bidding, we're bidding the same as everyone else.
Yeah,
There's
we
no
pay the same.
shenanigans.
We pay sales
our
tax.
bills.
There's nothing.
I meant to, but then, we're a silent movie on Bid Wrangler, and other things happened. So I missed my lots.
Oh, what were you going to bid on, Vinny? I'm shocked.
The trash mini lots.
You don't even have to. Oh well, if you want the trash, I guess so. But I was gonna say, everybody here drinks well. Between Ryan and I, we just crack stuff open, and life is good.
Yeah, but you're classy. I'm not.
Thanks for calling me classy. I've never been called classy before.
Well,
we're in the handies right now.
You were back to the Thomas Handies, 2009, which was a long time ago. Only $400.
You know what? I've paid 400. I've paid 300 on
Four
these.
450 is about to go in rate for a handy, but this is an old handy.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know the batch dependent years on those.
I don't think that they have keynote years like some of the other, like the William LaRue's or the.
It's a delicious rye. It's worth every single dollar of 400.
Oh, they are. Look at Vinny. You must have found it. So this one was a 6-year-old. The last one was a 7-year-old. So each batch does have a limited. Yeah, look at it.
Okay. But they're all delicious.
we here have a reference library, which harkens back to that issue with the guy contacting Buffalo Trace, was it?
Okay.
Yeah.
We should tell that story.
We already did
did
during our
Yeah,
Good Friday. Good Friday.
Good Friday.
It's always a Good Friday here.
Yeah, we told it on the Happy Hour podcast about the Stitzel-Weller, and I was very impressed with Buffalo Trace's responsiveness, getting back and checking out serial numbers on bottles. And
The American business. I always said the one different thing about the gun business is that it's American manufacturing, somebody picks up the phone, somebody knows the answer, and they speak English. And the alcohol business is the same. You contact the distillery, they get back to you.
Yeah. I mean,
And I don't know how they do it because they got 8 million, of us calling them, but they do.
Respect that they have to go through all that and they have lied to us.
The other thing I can think about too is that they must get
Oh.
asked so much that those people, the customer service reps, must have it like memorized to the T.
yeah, I'm sure they have like a console. Check out lot 618, Tom. This is a bottle that I was shocked wasn't getting enough attention earlier, but these are rare rums. 3 Dagger, 10-year-old Jamaican rum.
Is this like pirate rum type stuff or what?
Sort of, yeah. I found these in that-
$2.25. I mean, that's for a bottle. I don't think we don't have. It's rare for us to sell a bottle of rum for that much.
Right. So that's why I wanted you to look at it, because when I discovered this in the Manhattan estate, I said to myself, they look like low end rum, but they're
The label looks
10-year,
cheesy.
but they're 10-year rums. I said, let me look into it, and they're big in the cocktail world.
Really?
So they're using this to make vintage cocktails. Shane, you coming in for a drink? Yeah, Vinny made me one of these. Oh, okay. All right.
But it looks like
Limoncellos.
it's not spiced rum. It looks like it's an in between of white rum and spiced rum. It looks like a in
It's
between.
aged, but I'm very glad to see it selling for something, because it seems rare. It seems hard to come by, and the vintage cocktail people are looking for it.
There's a bidding war: 275, 275, 250. They're
They're going up right now.
yeah.
It's fascinating.
Now I kind of want to buy one. How much? Let's talk about stuff other than whiskey for a second.
Okay.
So I want to branch out into tequilas, and that's there's
Bartoleza.
Fortaleza is king.
I haven't found anything better than Fortaleza.
Right. That's the whole world
Lisa.
has that consensus. And then with rum, I really like rum because it's a sweeter. It's made from brown sugar. Bamboo XO is my favorite so far, which is nothing special. You can get it off the shelf anywhere for $70. I've had Barrel Craft rum, which didn't really like. There's Appleton Estates and everything else. And then you have some cheesy yellow label Jamaican rum 10-year-old that's selling for stupid money right now.
I don't know if that's stupid money. I think that's what those bottles are worth.
$300 bottle of rum that's stupid money for rum.
I would not trust anybody else but the Caribbeans to make me rum.
They all
Right,
that's
right.
they're all Caribbean, but I don't know of too many examples of ultra rare high end rum.
No, there aren't a lot of like rare vintage rums out there that people go crazy for, which is why I was thrilled to see $275 a bottle for something that we found in an estate. It was languishing in a warehouse. You know,
Is that where that came? I thought a lady brought that in.
no, I think
it was part of the estate auction.
I think
company.
so.
That's it.
Doesn't matter. Still cool that they exist, right? I mean, and that you can buy them, that you can come to an auction like this and find rare vintage cocktail ingredients, and people are mixing with them,
So
creating things.
I'm looking at the bids. Let's tease the wine. There's a bidding war on the Wares 63 vintage port case.
Oh, I want to see how the port's doing.
Interesting.
There's chatter. There's a bidding ping pong match going on right now.
So that port also came from the estate. That port was from we found it after it had been cleaned out of a Manhattan apartment. What's it up to?
I don't know, but there's hold on, 370, 350, 325, 350, 375, 400, 400, 4 and a quarter. We're
Okay.
at 425. It's going up $100 in
Which ones?
lot 94.
In the wine auction.
Yes.
Oh yeah. 475.
Van Winkles are running up right now. Got to get your Van Winkle.
Oh, that case of port is at $475. That's interesting. I wanted to try some of that.
Those
I do like
were
a port.
interesting from a historical perspective to catalog.
Were those rebottled? Were those from like 200
I
years
believe
ago?
so.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
so. They look that way.
So again, early on, I was looking to branch out from whiskey. So you got your tequilas, your rums. The other thing I was trying was ports, because you drink it cold. I like a cold drink, and you put them in the fridge, and it's a dessert wine, if you will, or whatever.
A port, really?
You
Some
put
of
port
them.
in the fridge?
Yeah. Yes. The what the heck was the one? The one you see all over the place in liquor stores. There. Not. I want to say Redmond's, but that's not it.
Just a 20 port?
Tawny, yeah, just a regular tawny port. Good, sweet, but now I'm interested in these. I mean, it's 1963 vintage port. this is
Quite a
old.
few things from the early 60s in there.
Yeah, you got some cognacs as well. You got some 1980s wine and cognacs. Very interesting stuff. Not as popular as the bourbon.
No,
Well.
listen, there's right. The VAT 69. So people ask, what's the deal? VAT 69 was what? Scotch.
It's a blended Scotch. It's not an especially.
I think the most famous thing about it is it was in Band of Brothers. There's a
Yes.
famous scene in Band of Brothers where they're sharing Scotch.
Yeah, they like captured it in some French town
They
or something
they
like
robbed
that.
there was a bombed out bar and they just grabbed it off
Yeah.
the shelf or something.
There
yeah.
was a no good bottle from J&B that I gave to Mike because he wanted it because it's what Kurt Russell is drinking in the Thing remake.
Oh, okay.
It's sitting
Hollywood-
there proudly on his shipping desk.
I don't want to disclose names, but I know a World War II reenactor who's bidding on the VAT 69.
Oh, yeah? Is
Just
he?
because of Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
No, I thought you were gonna say it's somebody famous. I was like, ooh-hoo.
No, it's not somebody famous.
Who this last Van Winkle keeps getting popped.
He does share a name with a famous author, though.
Yeah. They sold a gun to a person who was in a Godzilla movie. They wouldn't let me ask for an autograph, y'all. Can you
We've had
imagine?
a couple of celebrity bidders
Oh yeah, we've got
over the
some
years.
clients.
Yeah, we don't disclose names. I'm not gonna play that game, but some
Ooh, W.L. Weller Centennial 10 years
surprising names.
yeah.
Surprising names.
So you wonder where all this stuff's going, right? If you're the kind of person watching this auction and going, who the hell just paid $14,000 or $15,000 for a bottle?
Some guy.
The chances that they're noteworthy people is pretty high.
They can afford it.
No. Well, wait a minute. Actually, that I disagree. Most people who are wealthy and affluent and whatever you've never heard of them.
They're not famous, is what you're saying.
They are, but they own this or that or do this or that. They're not Hollywood actors or
Sal Tubman
musicians.
owns the
true,
most
no.
successful chain of dry cleaners in the Midwest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of car dealer types.
Yep. W.L.
Definitely.
Weller.
Oh, the Centennial Weller. Look at
It's getting
that.
bumped. It got a minute left. Someone bumped it at 1100.
They didn't make a lot of that, and I'll bet you what's inside there is delicious. 10-year.
Look at the color on it. Mm-hmm. It's darker than the 12-year Weller below it.
Which closed, it's gone.
I have Weller 12-year over here, but I think I've had enough. Thanks for the hot. You pulled out all the hot stuff today.
That was coincidental.
Yeah.
Oh, the Havana was only 93, so it balances. You got an average of about 117 proof here.
We're at lot number 641. There's 100 lots left to go. A lot of Wellers, 107s. We got CYPBs coming up.
Love that peanut butter called CYPB.
If you've never had CYPB, they're floating a little bit low at 350, 375, 350. I would hit those.
375, 400 is fair market.
Pay 400 for that bottle. It's worth it.
It is worth it. If you haven't had it, buy it. It's good stuff.
Yep, it's definitely worth it. I think we've gone through two here. One of them was mine. One of them was Kurt's.
The full proof store picks are coming up. Those are great for the money.
Yes, you can't go wrong with those. There's not a bad one in
There's
the
not a bad
batch.
Weller on the market right now. They are great bottles, great recipes, whatever.
Weller single barrels are coming up as well.
Oh, we're almost into Whistle Pig world too.
You know what? We should talk a little bit about Whistle Pig, and then let's do that and wrap it up.
Sounds good.
All right. So we have the holy grail of Whistle Pig in this auction. First year Boss Hog.
Mm-hmm. With the wheat colored label.
Here, let me hand that to you so you can take a look at it.
Please show the labels off as best you can. I had an email this morning from a gentleman asking for more on that, but I did not have
on
time
this
to send
on
it.
this particular bottle.
Whistle Pig's an interesting company because they're they started as an NDP, non-distilling producer.
Yeah, you got a
And
scuff on the label here. Is that what he was questioning?
There are a few. It's not pristine.
it's traveled a little bit to get here today.
It actually, the way it looks like almost it got damaged when it was going into a case pack or something.
Yeah, the tops of the cardboard boxes can do that.
134 proof.
So that's hot too.
So I feel like a lot of people poo-poo whiskey that's not made in the Midwest. And everybody knows Whistle Pig is Canadian juice that they finish.
Well, the funny thing about that is Raj Bhakta, the guy who started this,
Yep.
the entrepreneur,
Yep.
he went on some show and was raving about how this is American whiskey for Americans. And, Boss Hog is not, and it was just weird because he like doubled down and said some strange things, and the whiskey world panned him pretty hard for.
If Canada becomes the 51st state, then he'd be right.
Except for Dave Pickerel, the venerated and veteran master distiller, was like, "Yeah, it's Canadian juice, guys. It's great Canadian juice, though. And if you're trying to make the set, you can't do it without number one, and we have it, and you have a chance to bid on it. It's coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. What's it at right now? What lot is that?
This is lot 676.
676 is
I have to pitch this before I forget it.
5
because I was
Gs.
thinking about this last night while I was washing my dishes. So, we got things in our under our hat. What's my wine? Instead of what's my line?
What's
my wine?
What's my wine?
this is a game show you want to
It's
host?
a game show. Yep. We all take a little sippy sip. We kind of try to narrow it down as best we can.
You're going to try to get us to guess what the wine is? Mm-hmm. We are not sommeliers.
We are now.
I don't think this
Or
like
sommelier foes.
I've watched those competitions where people can guess the wine just by smell and taste.
Yeah.
And I go, no way.
But that's where the humor comes in.
Oh, okay. So we have
Because
to
Tom's
guess.
going to be like, it's Napa Valley. No, it's Italy.
I bet you I would do better than you think, but I'm by no means.
We should call it Whose Wine Is It Anyways?
Whose wine is it anyways? There you go.
From whence did it came?
That's better. All right. I digress. Boss Hog. First year. Do you know what year that bottle is?
Not off the top of my head.
2013. 2013 released each year since 2013.
So 12 years ago. Yeah, it makes sense.
And
They're up to 11 right now.
when it first came out, people were like, "Oh, gross, Canadian. Who cares?"
Well,
That was not a popular bottle the day it came out.
Whistle Pig in general, but the Boss Hog was their best of the best.
Yes.
Well, that's what they release every year. They do a new iteration of it.
Well, what they got really, I don't know about the first one, but what they got really fancy with,
They got into finishing.
right? The two ladies that run it now, it's all about finishing it in the most exotic things I've ever heard of.
But some of them worked. Was number 9 was
Number
Fig
9
Barrel,
is in
Fig
my
Nectar.
top 5. That was Fig Nectar. That's just insanely good.
It's so good.
10 is a honey mead, which is
That's
good.
the one. That's the one I like.
You like the honey mead? 11 was the Indian drink there. I forgot what it was. 11 I didn't like that much. But
How much do you think the first release of Whistle Pig was retail in 2013?
$100.
150.
Yeah.
Now, this year's release, 600.
Yes.
It's nice.
And the people could argue that they're I don't want to say price gouging, but they're asking a lot.
Is it worth 600? That's my question.
11 wasn't.
So 11 wasn't worth 600. You were disappointed. But let's look at what the bids are right now on first year. So
You're at 5, I think.
Yeah, you're
last
at
time I
5
checked.
right now.
$5,000 for a bottle that started at 150 retail and wasn't super popular right away.
My question is, what is this flavor? I'm trying to find an editorial on it. I'm trying to find out what the flavor profile is.
Of the first year, it's probably
I'd
just
say-
a straight rye.
Here's
Well,
one
they
from
switch it up
website
every
Whiskey
year.
Caviar, and they have a nice write up on it.
Finished in bourbon barrels.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. The Boss Hog series, whiskey produced in Vermont. So this is actually Vermont. This is their own house stuff, I guess.
They waffle between importing and just doing it on the farm themselves.
Yeah, this special edition whiskey, blah blah blah, corn malted barley, extra rye. So it's a rye, heavy rye or high rye. Splendid single barrel, creamy, sweet on the nose with aromas of fruit, undertones of wood. Palate awakens to bold hints of cinnamon.
Are you reading a review for one?
No, this is a taste of one. Yes,
Okay.
hints of cinnamon and cloves mingled with hints of vanilla and oak. I like that. Sounds great.
It's a 12-year product.
The finish has subtle notes of red pepper. That's different. Cinnamon on the back end is calmed with sweet touch of dark chocolate.
It's at $5,000. Think about that. Somebody needs to complete a set.
Mm-hmm.
And they're Boss Hog Wild.
So I always felt Boss Hog, Whistle Pig in general, was more popular here in the Northeast and not in the Midwest. But I think it's growing.
We get it. We get it all over the Northeast.
We get it all over the place. I would love to go to the Midwest and say, hey, you ever heard of Whistle Pig? That kind of thing. But
When we were at Winefest, Whistle Pig was set up and they were doing samples. And I think
Oh,
they were
really?
just doing their farmhouse rye and a
Yep.
couple other
Yep.
standard expressions. And I was like, you guys pouring any Boss Hog? And they're like, no.
They don't get much. There's very limited. So they released. So number 9, they told the world there was only 1,000 bottles. That was the only bottling that they ever said how many bottles there were. I don't think they produce. Now I know 11, 10, 11, 12, and go on is got more, but I think the early bottlings were very limited.
Sure. We got 5,000 on it right now on the first one. I think it's got more room to go. I think if you need it, you should bid on it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a shipping box, but
I don't
looks
think it had
great.
one. Doesn't have one.
Nope.
Never had one. Came in a basic case, I think. So I could tell you. So what's interesting? This is a retail website called Whiskey Caviar. They have it listed for $15,000.
And there's your spread right there.
Yeah.
They might not have that bottle in hand and have to source it.
Right.
sail on, Mortimer.
So I meant to say this before. I can tell you how I can prove that these retailers source the bottles. So in the secondary groups, you'll get someone who issues what's called an ISO, in search of.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll get these strange ISOs where somebody says something like, I'm in search of 3 bottles
Yes.
of this year Pappy, or 15, or I need a dozen bottles of Rip Van Winkle 10, and here's my ask price. Here's what I'm offering. So they have an order that they're trying to fill.
So do you think
and they reach out to secondary to try and fill it?
I was just going to say, do you think that these legit websites, broker type websites, you think there's some dudes sitting in the office hitting up the secondary Facebook groups and stuff?
I think it's just like a stockbrokers where they're selling
Yes.
crappy penny stocks.
Yes.
Boss Hog 1 just got extended. It went up to 55.
Perfect.
I'm not
That's
surprised.
you know what? When are you going to find another one? It just doesn't come up that often.
I would be
Closing
surprised
in
if there was
5
only
seconds.
500 to 1,000 bottles of that.
I bet you there's way under 1,000 bottles of that ever existed. Closed
Correct.
at 5,500. Congratulations.
That was more exciting than I expected it to be.
Oh, we're in the wild turkey world. Diamond anniversary is up now.
We got less than 70 lots to go here.
What's this funny bottle here? This.
Oh, you want to talk about the Kentucky Spirit bottles?
Yeah.
So
It's a cognac bottle.
Jimmy Russell. This is we're looking at lot 683. Jimmy Russell always laughs about this. Eddie Russell too. That this was the most expensive bottle in the bourbon world to produce because it had the feathers, the turkey feathers.
Yep.
It
That
is an awful
shape.
nice bottle.
It's a beautiful bottle, and the whiskey that's inside is beautiful. But they stopped producing it because it was when Campari took over. They were like, "We're not spending this money." It was costing them many dollars for this bottle to be produced and hand blown and specially made. And the whiskey that was inside was good, but not really worth that super packaging premium. So
Right.
you could still get this now. It's just in a different bottle. And look at what they're bringing: 400, 375, 300, 275, because you can't find it anymore. And if you're a Wild Turkey fan, you want to put one of these on your bar.
I was pushing Kurt to do glam shots with them, but he's like, nah, too squat. Too squat.
Yeah, it's still beautiful though. And Kurt's photography is out of sight. I mean,
Well,
he does such a good job
argument
backlighting
there.
the bottles, showing you what's inside, the front, the back, the labels.
Wait till you see the update on the website we got coming, folks. Like, there is God rays coming out of these bottles.
Yeah, he managed to make whiskey glow to update the website.
The problem with that is now people are like, well, those are fake. It's all AI or all.
No, it's just an LED cube placed behind the bottle itself.
Yeah, it's photography trickery.
The other company, the CTFA, they do that. They're like, this is fake. You know.
Well, we don't touch up the objects in
we
the
never,
photo.
Correct.
The photo that we use is the real photo of the
It's
actual
not a stock
bottle.
photo.
But sometimes Kurt's photos are so good, he's been accused of using stock photos, which is hilarious because that means that our photography is that good.
The only thing is if there's like egregious reflections bouncing off the bottles, because
Oh, you might touch that up.
I might, AI that out or something, but that's
Like,
all Kurt, baby.
We'll play with lighting, but the actual label and the actual stuff. You know what I noticed? Here's an interesting topic too. When the lighting is too heavy and it mellows out the color of the whiskey, it doesn't seem to sell as well, so to speak. People think that that's actually the color of whiskey.
The funny thing is, your American light whiskey over there is very light in color, but strong in flavor.
Right.
And it doesn't darker whiskey does not equal better.
Right.
I've had some dark whiskey that was terrible.
Dark on the computer. Why do I keep going in and out? Vinny, what are you doing? Oh, is that because I put the bottle in front of it?
Yep.
Yeah. If
Look
you
at
want it
that.
to focus on the bottle, you got to completely obscure your face.
It's
'cause
going to change your
yeah.
like whole color balance.
we got at least we got fast enough cameras to focus.
It does.
Not bad. I have to say, congratulations, guys. I mean, this is a beautiful auction. It was fun to watch. There was things for everybody here. And I'll say this: when we get to our September sale, which we're already 600 bottles deep.
Something like that.
Have we settled on a date? Because I've heard the 6th
Yes.
or the 7th.
No, it's
We have
it's
a
the
permit.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's my birthday. Y'all better do something special for me.
Oh, we'll buy you something nice.
Yeah.
September 7th, baby. Vinny,
That's
how many got bottles cataloged?
All of them. They're done.
I would,
Ready to publish.
I would buy you a really nice bottle if you actually had that done.
So we are consigning. Consignments are open now. I love it when people go, "Hey, when do you need them by?" I'm like, "Listen,
Now.
we're going to be running auctions continuously and hopefully more frequently. So we're always consigning. We're always taking them in. When you get them here, we'll get them in the next possible sale. In this case, it's September. We have a busy summer coming up. But after that, we hope to accelerate. We hope that by October, November, we're running every 30 days. And we're just going to continually consign. So when you come in to pick up your bottles, bring a couple to drop off.
There was
So people like to
when was it?
procrastinate.
Friday? Thursday, Friday? Anyway, some old distributor friend of my uncle's came in, and they were flabbergasted. I took them on a tour of the September room already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
And blown away by what we have ready to come up.
Already.
I
Yeah.
would say that the September auction has a lot more accessible bottles. They might be harder to find and more rare, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's great drinkers.
Good, accessible. So, like, not just average crap you could buy today, but like,
Good red breasts in there.
yeah,
There's some spots
Middleton
in
Very
there.
Rares.
Yep. Oh, Middleton Very Rares. Yeah, baby.
There's,
Drank that last night.
it's a good auction full of hard to find but not crazy value stuff.
Maybe, stuff you might not get in your neck of the woods, but
Right.
some freak show distribution network that we got.
So if you've won bottles and you're in the app, you can go click on your name, click on your account,
They
and
already
then
doing
hit
it.
billing. And you can see what you bid on and what you won and how much you paid. And there's some, you can instantly pay your tab. You can see what you won, how much you spent. Looks like I bought some handies. Thomas Handy Rye Whiskey.
Thomas Handy, not Handies, but Thomas
Handy
Handies.
Rye Whiskey, yes. Oh, and some Middleton Very Rare. That's good because we were drinking that last night, and that bottle is only about a quarter full now. So fascinating stuff. You can check out your invoice right in there. You'll know what you got coming up. And cheers, guys. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Vinny, great job. Thank you for helping, Ezzy.
Yes, thank you, Ez. Thank you,
Yeah.
Shane. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, everybody on the
Mike jumped
chats.
Yeah, the shipping crew is going to be
Underwater. God
Pressure.
bless you.
The wine starts in 4 minutes.
And I'm looking at the wine right now. You got bottles of BV coming up. Cheap still. Chateau du Hart, Dow, Soul of the Lion.
How can you say that and not infinite?
It's
Infinite?
infinite. It would be the proper pronunciation.
It is not.
This is
Infinite.
America.
Wait, is English your second language, Tom?
Probably.
You're a little French Canadian, right?
Yes. Un petit peu.
So you've got
infinite.
8 minutes left to the last lot in the whiskey auction, and the wine auction starts in 4 minutes. So get your bids in. Click over if you're
Silver
not
Oak.
down with the William LaRue Wellers here.
Buy your wife something so you could explain all the whiskey purchases coming up.
I don't have to worry. My wife is already bidding. in the
Oh,
wine
yeah,
auction.
she's in there. She is in there.
I told her, go ahead, get something nice for yourself.
There you go. Ovid Hexameter Kilseda.
What is that? The wine?
What did you
Yeah,
tell
I'm
me?
doing wine.
Oh, okay.
Verite.
The
La
Willets and
Dessert.
the Wellers are closing right now. The William LaRue Wellers. I think there's a first year. Yeah, there is. Look, you got one at 1,800, 1,300, 1,800. Oh, one of them's at $4,250 for a Weller.
What am I missing here?
That's the first year, I think, 2006 of the BTAC series. That includes the Weller. You got two of them in there. One of them's 4,250, 4,250, 4,000. Thank you, everybody, for buying all this. Thank you for coming to our auction, for trusting us, for being great customers. And we're also going to thank you ahead of time for being chill about shipping.
Yes, please and thank you.
We're often in the weeds for first couple days, so for God's sakes.
Yep.
Give them a break.
We'll get it to you. I'm sure you got plenty of bottles already sitting there that you could drink. Just
I'm sure your bar's not empty.
Yeah.
Open something else and think about what's coming.
Yep. William, someone just bid on another WLW here.
Oh, we're so near the end. Let's just stick it out.
Oh, we're going to stick it out? All right, you're
we're
right.
so nearly the end.
I started saying goodbye because I'm starting to feel that
We'll do the Italian
high proof
goodbye.
stuff.
So
You start. Just go with it. Just go with it.
we'll do an
Okay.
Italian goodbye. This will take at least 20 minutes.
Amateur.
That's where you go like this. You go, well,
And then you got to say bye to the same person about 8 times.
Yeah. What do you wait for a kiss goodbye?
how's your mother?
My mom chimed in on the comments. She's like, I hear just fine.
Are these hazmat, William? No, these are old ones. 06. There's some high dollar WLW coming up here too.
That poor woman. She's got my dad and me. Can you imagine?
Oh, somebody tried to call in through Facebook while I was in here. That's
Oh.
interesting.
We
Missed a
everybody's
Facebook call.
everybody's here. So there's been a couple calls on the phone too.
What's the story on lot 20? Somebody said. What is lot or 720?
720. We passed by it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't get to it in time.
I think you talked about it.
That was a 1 liter. Okay. No, it's closing now.
Oh,
What's the story on it? That's a special reserve 1 liter, and it's sitting at $4.75. Now, special reserve was Weller's baseline
Basic.
bourbon, yeah, but this one is a 175 and it's a squat bottle, so that's why it's bringing so much. Everybody drank this. It's
9
all
years
gone.
old.
It doesn't exist anymore. That's why that's bringing $4.75. But somebody else, I think, sent an email earlier. Like, why is a special reserve at $4.75? And I go, because
We had a higher estimate on it.
yeah. Well, bid on it if you want one. If you need one in the collection.
Oh, these little Woodford Reserve finish ones are interesting too.
Where did those come from? That looks like a sample bottle.
No. That's how they
basically
keep
are.
375s. That's the first. Those are early.
Okay.
Those are 3-4 years old, I think. At least 3 years old.
So that's how they came in the store.
Yes, and that's why you always look for 375 because they usually at the liquor store they have the 375s behind the register. You look for the white linen label, but now that's gone. They're doing 750s or 700s now. So
I'm glad to see the Kentucky Derby selling for something. People are trying to complete sets.
yep, we've had those in every auction, and then
It's the standard expression of whiskey, but in a collectible bottle.
you're paying for the art.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get them, they're Pokemons.
So here's the double oak 726 727 is the double oaked, the original double oaked, or some of the original double oaked.
Oh yeah, that's the first one. They released it in 375s.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I'll tell you, this year's double oaked was so good. I have a bottle on my bar that's not open, and I think I drank yours, Tom. Actually.
Yes.
We tried yours. It was delicious.
It was.
and that's what you get for being a cardboard cutout on Good Happy Hour Friday.
Yeah, I know. No, you drank my PFG, which is fantastic. That stuff, I still remember that PFG. That PFG was really
The Bomburgers, yeah.
Resonating.
This year's release, special release, is great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that turns into a, higher value bottle, but it's selling around $350 double retail.
We just sold one. What does it sell for?
$350, I think. But worth it. Like, I like Bomburgers. I keep Bomburgers at home all the time. I'm not even picky about the years. It's all delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 2015 bottle that I haven't opened. I might open that one at some time. But I don't see the need to collect every year because all of them are good.
It's a regular thing. So I don't think there's any special years on it, special vintages on it.
Consistent.
Yeah, but my local gets 1 bottle of Bomburgers and 1 bottle of Shanks once a year. And that's it. When it comes out, you got to go hunt for it and see who has it. And hopefully they didn't, mark it up too high.
Right.
What about that, Tom? I mean, we're sitting here, we're selling things for what we consider to be secondary auction prices. When you walk into a liquor store and they put a bonkers price on it, I mean, sometimes it's downright laughable, but
They negotiate.
so what do you mean?
So like this ALW. All right, here we go. Perfect example. This is the new ALW. It's a 17 year. I have a store pick that I got, and I wanted another one to try first before I cracked the store pick. So the guy had, this was a liquor store in Connecticut. He had it for, I want to say $189.
Okay.
It was high because it doesn't go for that much. I said $150 cash, and he's like, he's got to check the computer and blah 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 blah. And best I could do is $155, and I'm like,
155.
Their computers are probably running on like MS DOS.
no. What they're doing is they're checking the Pruvy software for what they paid, and now I can tell you right now they probably paid. Well, In Connecticut, the wholesale distributor set the price, and they probably set the price high for this.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with Redbreast 27. Is it used to be a $500 bottle everywhere, and then in 1 year it went to $700.
So
$200 increase on that bottle.
I have seen bottles like this same class, cheaper, below quote unquote cost in Massachusetts than here. So in Massachusetts, they sell this bottle for $119 or $99.99. And the wholesale distributor charged the liquor store $99.99 or $119. So that's how the wholesale distributors are doing well.
Oh, yes. They do just fine.
So anyway, back to the negotiating part. So I said, how about 150? He said 155.99, and I'm like, all right, I got cash. Does that help? And he goes, yeah, but I still got to charge his tax. I said, fine.
Well, at least he's respecting the tax laws.
But well, we hope. They'll take negotiation because at the end of the day, money in hand is worth more than.
Not than a bottle sitting on the shelf. But
Right.
but like a good example is I saw someone post a photo in one of the bourbon groups, non-selling, not non-secondary group. It was just a place on Facebook where people put up whiskey photos, and he had the liquor store had Weller Antique 107 up for $399. You could buy it at our auction for $150.
Which one?
Antique 107,
Yes.
$400.
We're coming up on the end, guys.
The end of the auction.
There's four still open. 4 lots still open.
And I'm watching the wine sell. You know what? There's alternating deals and high prices. It's kind of schizophrenic what's going on in the
wine
auction
people,
right now.
man. They're very different than the bourbon buyers.
They will cut you if you look at them sideways.
Or
or
if
they
you
don't
mispronounce
care.
the wine.
Or yeah, they
Tom, they're not engaged.
they like what they like, and they will pay for it,
Yeah.
and that's it.
This is fascinating though to see. I mean,
Oh, 2 lots.
you got
2
some
lots
Colgin
left.
up here. It's $800 a lot. You got
So the crazy thing about wine, and I don't think they do it. Yeah, they do it whiskey. You go to a restaurant and buy a bottle of wine, pay $800. It's double or triple what retail is.
triple usually. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't. That's different. You don't see that as much in the whiskey or other worlds.
No, they're tripling their money. They're more than tripling their money on some of the rare whiskeys.
A lot of wine drinkers are having stuff that they're drinking freely at that bar and paying for that much. And then but the truth be told is it's a lot cheaper in a liquor store or whatever. They're paying for the entertainment and the experience and the
Yeah, sure.
whatever.
You're
But,
getting wine
And
service.
yeah, exactly.
right. Bottle service.
There's a lot of interesting stuff still coming up.
One more lot on whiskey, baby.
Oh, I left the whiskey world and I'm into the wine world here.
I'm just
last
waiting
one.
for this one to close.
Woodford Reserve, 43 seconds.
One's holding out.
It'd be funny if it gets extended again. Somebody hits it one more time. This is
Go
a,
ahead, hit it one more time.
It's a
Why not?
Kentucky Derby bottle that's at $375. Think about that.
Ooh, that must be hard to find one.
Yeah, 2014. So it's 10 years old.
Oh, no, it's not. Is that the first one?
That
That is the first one.
could be.
That's the blue bottle. That's the first one.
And it's
No, it can't be because there's 138 listed above it.
Oh,
but look at that.
Maybe that one in specific, the art or the booze within.
it's just a basic expression, but it's the bottle you're paying for. And most liquor stores sell these for the regular bottle price. It's just a way to move Woodford.
I have to say this is our best auction yet, best numbers yet, best
Sold.
registrations yet.
That's an auction.
That's an auction, everybody.
It's a whiskey auction.
Thank you.
You guys
Wine-
are the best.
Wine's gonna be short and sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
cranking
is.
right now.
You've got end till the end of that.
Good thing it'll end by 5 o'clock when our permit expires.
No, we got more time than that.
Well, it'll end before 5 o'clock. I timed it out, Tom. It will.
No, I think we have later.
Unless
than that.
people keep fighting over
Yeah.
some Porto from 1963.
There's
6 o'clock.
if you say so.
No, that was proposed legislation.
Oh, God.
No, listen. It'll end in 16 minutes. The whole wine auction will be done in, less than 20.
Can I ask you about your hat?
Go
and how
ahead.
fabulous it is.
Go ahead, Penny. You can ask me about my hat.
Is it?
Shout out to Tater.
Is that a Tesla logo
No,
knockoff?
no.
No?
Well,
Like this?
Yeah.
No, it's Tater Bats.
So Tater
Bats.
Baseball is a local right here in Cheshire. Great company, great story. They moved from Waterbury to Cheshire. Tater Baseball, they picked up some Major League Baseball players for their wood bats. They make fantastic wood bats.
Huh.
Tater is also a term used in the whiskey world or in the liquor world, and they happen to have a hat that says Tater across the front of it.
I have had to explain tater to so many people.
It's also called bourbon bunnies because they hop from store to store looking for rare bourbons. So a tater is somebody who's like,
Typically, Tater is also associated with flipping, too.
right. They go in, they go, hey man, you got any Blantons? And they buy Blantons for $60 and they put it on the legal secondary for $100 and they make a $20 bill by the time they ship it. They also have like a specific behavior. So people will go and buy a case of Eagle Rare and then finish it in a barrel that was shown to their grandma's panties. And then they put a sticker on it and they say grandma's panties whiskey. Like they
Tater labels is what you're talking
tater
about.
labels. Like they try to remake whiskey into something it isn't and make money doing
Well,
it.
we got the Thug Life Donald Trump. We had the Ghostbusters in the last one.
We've had some tater bottles come through, but I don't like purists don't really go for it.
It's so difficult to catalog too. I'm like, is Paramount gonna like kind of come down on us for using Ghostbusters?
Yeah, because they're using unlicensed things.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make what's in the bottle any better after it goes in the bottle. But people want to put stickers and plastic figurines
So
on it
there's-
and try and make an extra $20.
There's groups on Facebook that sell basically barrel picks. And they're probably good picks because the people picking the barrels are very, very good at what they do. So they hype them up and they pre-sell them. And that's the epitome of it.
And they don't open them, or they buy 3 and then they open 1 and then they send 2 to auction or whatever. But I'm sure it's delicious stuff, but it's just people.
Why don't we do a good tater bottle?
We can't.
Really?
We can't buy from wholesale.
Yeah,
Oh.
we could pair up with a retailer,
So we could, yes.
and the retailer could deliver the bottles to us for auction.
Yes, that's true.
But
We're in a legal gray zone right now, huh?
no, it's
No.
fully legal.
we can't go directly 3-tier system. We're actually a 4-tier. We can't go right to distiller. And actually, even the store, and this is another problem with Connecticut, or well, actually the whole country. If you're a retailer and you pick a bottle or pick a barrel from the distillery, they still have to ship it to a wholesale, and then the wholesale ships it to your store.
And they still make a cut.
And they still make a cut or charge
Yeah.
a fee
It's
or
like
whatever.
8 steps removed from what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can't go to Kentucky and say, hey, that's great. Bottle it up and put our label on it.
We can
kinda-
go to a retailer and say, "Do you have a single barrel available that we can choose?"
We would have to partner with a retailer.
That would be
Yeah.
fun, like a Tom's pick, a Ryan's pick.
You think we can sell 250 bottles or something?
No.
Well, then,
We could drink to it
and you got to buy the barrel too.
Ah,
So it's $5,000-$10,000 for a barrel
minimum.
Yeah.
Then we just got to make sure that tater label is great.
Yes, we'll have a fantastic label to bump the value up.
So good idea, Vinny. But let's just sell great whiskey.
We do. Check.
Okay, and we did it today. So great broadcast, except for the total fail on the audio, Vinny.
And actually, there is no live with the wine here too either.
No,
because
we
we're
wouldn't
still
click it over.
occupying
Yeah.
Whiskeyville.
Well, if you want, this might be an opportunity for you to close out one and open up the wine one.
What, you want to stick around for another hour and do this?
No, 17 minutes.
Yeah, you got
17
12
minutes?
minutes to test it.
I could test it.
All right, let's go
I'm gonna
dark
sign
on
off
this
on
one.
this one.
Yeah, let's go dark. We're not going to be on YouTube or Facebook, but we'll just try out the feed on the app and say goodbye and thank you to everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
See if we
out.
work on the other auction.
I'm going to drop the mics and you can reboot, Vinny.
Yep.
Peace.